Hey, are we live? Salam alaikum, alaikum salam, samara kutare. Hey, hello. Can anybody tell me if they can hear me? I pray you guys are doing great. Um, pray you guys are doing fine. Um, just getting here a little bit, about a minute late. Um, let me see in the comments. Can anyone hear me? Testing one, two, three, testing one, two, three. Yeah, I can hear you. Hey, hey, Tata, salam
Many
alaikum.
blessings, many blessings. How you doing?
Hey, ya tú sabes, like always, aquí, waiting for people to get in little by little. Oh, thank you. Joe 723, uh, child of
Look
Egun.
at child of Egun. Eso Egun. I'm all for it, Egun. Many blessings to everybody. We're gonna have a little live today. We're gonna speak about the Egun and Fumbe spirits,
Hmm.
ancestors. Um, we're gonna be speaking about all those things today.
Yep.
Then
Mm,
we'll open up the floor at least at the end.
yeah, hopefully they have questions. Not like last time. Nobody, they didn't ask questions last time.
And everybody
Oh,
was just there listening. Male Gonzala Trinity, Mafede Fung
yeah,
Egun. That's true. We always gotta give the position to Egun.
always.
Se le da
Yep.
su posición. Which I think that's kind of lost in these traditions. We haven't given la posición al muerto and the respect that is required.
Hmm.
That's been diminishing. Yes, the forces of nature are important. Yes, orishas, all of that stuff. But el muerto al final who do it all. Ese es el
Exactly.
verdadero bárbaro.
Exactly.
Male
Salam
Gonzala
alaikum.
Pacific.
Yeah, Alaikum Salam. We're gonna give it couple of minutes just to see a couple of more people join before we start. You want to add to that? Speak about the code of ethics in Palo. Um, we're gonna be speaking about also new initiates. That are seeking knowledge from other elders or practitioners. You know, kind of what to avoid, what to look for, what not to do without the
What not
elders'
to do.
consent.
Yeah, this is a good topic right here. We can speak about the different levels. Um, I tend to speak more towards the priest. I do orientate. I try to orientate, people who are searching for knowledge, who are engaged or wanting to get initiated, who want to start off in these traditions.
Hmm.
But I like to orientate a lot more and give more knowledge towards people who have kisses
Hmm.
or practicing the traditions because there's caps. There's caps of knowledge. There's gatekeeping. Um, and they're only up to their, let's say, their knees in the ocean of knowledge when it comes to Nkisi Malongo or this practice. When
Hmm.
you are a priest or priestesses, when you have an Nkisi as a Tata Nganga or Yaya Nganga. So I always love to educate people who are already practicing heavily. Um, and we can start off with that. We can speak about that, Tata Zongo.
Hmm.
You know, for the Ngayos or people who are searching for practitioners within any of the ATRs, you have to understand that there's levels. I'm gonna keep saying that levels.
Hmm.
Just because somebody's a priest does not mean that they're in the level that they need to be. I was a priest when I was 13 years old. Do you think that I was on the level that I needed to be? No, no
No.
way. 13, 14, 15, 16, all the way up to my mid 20s is when I actually was able to um find well footing and be independent.
Right.
Um, I've always given position to my Nkisi and all of that stuff. I've learned a lot from my godfather. I won the lottery there. Um, but I wasn't in the levels that I needed to be when I was younger. I made a lot of mistakes, a bunch of mistakes. And if people imagine at that time they would have came to me, I probably wouldn't have known how to handle the situations or deal with those issues and problems on guiding or fixing problems for other people.
Hmm.
So when You guys go searching out for priests within any of the tradition. Just because they hold a title, a Baalao, or an Oba, or an Olorisha, or I'm crowned, or any of this stuff does not mean that they're fully competent to handle the responsibilities that comes with opening your house up for the broader community, not just the community that is family wise, like god brothers, god sisters, and your children and your brothers-in-laws and stuff like that. For
Mm-hmm.
complete strangers, some people might not be competent enough within the knowledge to handle all of those affairs. So you guys have to understand that there is levels to this.
Mm-hmm.
And when the obviously the Pinot Nuevos or those lower levels of Palo, which they're very important because that's where you start to lay a foundation. Um, they're not the practice. It's kind of like, the military. For anybody who's been in the military, basic training, AIT is not real life. For people who are not in the military, high school, middle school is not real life.
Mm-hmm.
Those are just building foundation to use it as a stepping stone, leading towards the maturity stage in life.
Exactly.
So when you see people who are just tatas and yayas, we're still learning, right? I've been through those stages. I was still learning. I'm still learning now. You're always going to keep on learning. But even if you see that they have an Inkisi, they have a house, they have these things, they might not be fully competent for all types of issues and problems. Even myself, there are certain things that I don't take on because
Mm-hmm.
I know I'm not fully competent within those processes.
Right.
Same thing is for a babalao. Same thing goes for an obaoriate. Espiritismo, that's a different conversation because most of the time you don't need initiations to practice espiritismo. Anybody can practice espiritismo, but not everybody's a spiritualist. We know that.
Mm-hmm.
You do got to know what you're doing. Not everybody knows what they're doing in that practice, but you don't need to get initiated. It doesn't cost a lot of money. You
Mm-hmm.
see what I'm saying? There's where world phenomena happens, and spiritual abilities are at its highest for you to see those things. Whether in the land of Palo or in Kisimalongo, La Ocha, Ifa, those are initiations. They're required. And it's literally let's say college level, PhD degrees, master levels, um when you're into those priesthoods. So you might meet a babalao, but he might not be in those master levels, while you meet other ones that are really there, that they study Ifan, that's all that they do. Same thing for La Ocha, same thing for Palo. I'm gonna say that again, there are levels.
Mm-hmm.
So you as a priest, you have to understand at what level that you're in and study your weaknesses. For your godfather or the priest that you're speaking to or you're searching out, understand that he's at certain levels within these traditions.
Mm-hmm.
I got my godfather. I came into my godfather's life when he was past his prime. He already went through all, let's say, the headaches, all the questionings, all type of situation. He was already past his prime. What I mean by past his prime is, well, he was in his prime, but headed towards I've lived it all. I've done it all.
Mm-hmm.
I've had it all. Bunch of
Mm-hmm.
God kids, this, all type of things. He had a lot of experience. So he was able to dump that on me.
Right.
You see, he was able to nurture me with it, nurture my brothers with it, all the other God kids he had. He was able to nurture us in a different way than his first God kids when he was in his early 20s, learning about the tradition because he still is trying to understand and find footing, concepts, practice, etc., etc. It's the same thing for me. I'm not going to be the same Matamba when I was 13 than I am now than when I'm going to be in my 60s or my 50s.
Mm-hmm.
Things evolve and the way I see things are going to change. Because there I have heard of of priests that practice Palo, that they witnessed Palo in the 60s and the 70s here and in Cuba too. That priest has way more experience and obviously than me, way more, a bunch more. And
Mm-hmm.
he's seen Paulo evolve from that time till now. Different stage, different amount of knowledge, simple medicine, understands concepts. Um, so time it does gives a certain level of credit to the knowledge that you have if you were actively practicing. 'Cause you can have 40 years and never been inside of a ritual. You were just initiated as a Tata or a Yaya for
Mm-hmm.
40 years and you have no experience dealing with the tradition. So sometimes time or the age that you're on these traditions doesn't give you credit as saying that you're knowledgeable. No, no, no. Mostly experience day in and day out, day in and day out. And that's why I had that video and I said these traditions take a lot of us. But there are levels to these traditions.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna switch it a little bit. I'm gonna switch this conversation a little bit. If we are speaking that there are levels to it and there are structures to this culture and these practices, because they're Afro-Cuban. Male Gonzala, Barbara, how you guys are all doing? Use your not found, Male Gonzala, all you guys.
Yep.
If there,
Don, Malikin Sara Don.
if we have all these traditions that are part of a culture and there are levels to it, we have to understand that everybody's not in the same level. And that's why I think, I'm gonna say this, me, I, why I think they push off people to different lands. Maybe because they can't become priests in those lands, which that's perfectly fine for whatever situation, or they don't have sufficient knowledge to resolve the problems within that land. I feel, and I say, and I stand by it too, that if you're about Allah, only about Allah, and you have dedicated a decade, 2 decades to Ifa, you should be able to resolve all problems with Ifa. You should be able to. With all the powers that he has, all the powers of Ifa, like Odun, Wasan, all the stuff that they carry, all the stuff that they do, you should be able to resolve all problems. Within La Ocha, you should be able to resolve all problems also. If
Mm-hmm.
you're up to those top tier levels of priesthood. And within Palo, you should be able to resolve all problems.
Yep.
But obviously, our tradition or all these traditions have changed, the culture changed, and the lower levels of Palo, of Ocha, of Ifa, people get enslaved or caught up in the money machine. They get caught up in the money machine. Come here, receive this, go there, receive that, go there, receive this, go here, receive that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm referring about initiations and receiving things. To resolve a problem might not require initiation, like 95% of the time. With an Ifa, you might not need to resolve a problem. You might not need to become a Ba'alao to resolve a problem if he's a good Ba'alao.
Mm-hmm.
You just might have to do a bull, whatever you need, a parado, whatever you need to do.
Right.
Within La Ocha, the same thing. Within Palo, the same thing. You see, so as a priest, if you get initiated within any of the traditions and you're searching to become independent to resolve your own problems, it is a long walk, a treacherous walk.
Trials and tribulations.
Yeah, a lot of trials and tribulations, a lot of endurance, a lot of questioning and finding loopholes and loose ends and trying to build foundation. But once you acquire all that knowledge and experience, you should be able to handle yourself. You shouldn't
Mm-hmm.
have to jump lands anywhere else. And
Right.
this is not to offend people who practice multiple traditions. Those people, the people who practice all three of them, I say my fedefun to them, modu pues, salam aleikum, many blessings to them because to be standing vertically with a good foundation in all three traditions, all three of them, within this Afro-Cuban culture, is very hard.
Mm-hmm.
It is very hard. It doesn't take 10 years to master three tradition.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't take 10 years to master one of them. Um, so people who practice all three of them, that's, and when they speak, they're very knowledgeable. They know the concepts. They know how to resolve problems in all three of them, whichever way that obviously divination it comes out. Um, that's a special type of person. Not everybody's like that. I'm not like that, and I don't think I would ever be like that. And I know everybody has a different path and walk, but I'm speaking more towards Palo. Do I refer people to Ifa? Yes. Some people are not supposed to be in this land. Um, do I have referred people go to La Ocha? Yes. Some people cannot handle priesthoods and wanting to practice this tradition the way that I practice, the
Mm-hmm.
way the dedication that I give and the rituals that I do and the stuff that we do, the intensity of things,
Mm-hmm.
which is perfectly fine. Some people love La Ocha, some people love that way of doing things, which perfectly fine also. And within Ifa, it's the same thing. But what I'm trying to get to you guys eventually too is to this. When are you gonna define things in your life as a new initiate that you say, look, I want to dedicate myself to this and this only? Because there is no way as a new initiate that you get initiated into Palo and then 2 weeks later, or let's say a month later, 21 days later, you go and get initiated in La Ucha. And your goal is to be priest in both lands, not to resolve a problem, because that they do those things. Yo, you gotta get initiated in Palo, resolve the problema, and jump into La Ocha, get crowned for whatever reasons, and that's what you want to practice. Well,
Mm-hmm.
that's perfectly fine. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that you want to be the best priest or priestesses within the land of Palo, and then be the best Oba that you can be within the land of
Ocha.
Ocha, and then also be the best Bahalao within Ifa.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot bite more than you can chew. Um, that right there is for me, I say that's taboo.
Mm-hmm.
You can, practice those traditions alongside with them, but to be the best that you can be, no. You can only dedicate a certain amount of time to each one. And all
Mm-hmm.
three of them are very well within depth. They're
Mm-hmm.
very deep. All three divination systems are very deep. All the type of orishas and bungos and all the rituals, all of these stuff is very deep.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't practice both of them at once. What I'm saying by that is acquire knowledge both at once. Be well defined both at once. How to crown all these orishas and run ceremonies at the same time you're learning how to build in kisis in the same day, it's not gonna happen. So you see, if your goal is to be that, all three traditions well defined within them, it's gonna take you a lifetime. And you have to lay brick by brick, step by step.
Mm-hmm.
But once you, as I'm gonna say it again, once you reach Mount Everest, the peaks of Mount Everest of within any tradition, or you go to the deepest trenches of the ocean of knowledge within any of these traditions, you're not gonna need the other one. You're not gonna need Ifa. You're not gonna need La Ocha. You see what I'm saying? And I'm gonna say I don't need them because I'm well within my path already. I can resolve all problems within this land. And that's the truth.
Mm-hmm.
I can resolve everything with my Inkisis. If I don't have the Inkisi that I require to resolve a problem, I can build it. I have the knowledge to do so. Um, I
Mm-hmm.
don't need to jump to those lands to receive Osign. I don't need to, receive Ogun. I don't need to get crowned whatever Odisha to resolve what problem. My Inkisis can resolve my problems. If they can't, then why do I have them?
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm already in top tier levels within these traditions. Same thing for Andy. Same thing for anybody who's a Tata and Ganga and has dedicated more than decades to
Mm-hmm.
these traditions. If you can't, that means that you're not as strong as you think you are within that land, which is perfectly fine, unless you are strong and you're jumping tradition for love, for finances, for the culture, which I applaud that too.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm all for that also. But if you're saying no to resolve a problem, then you're not as strong as you can. You say, no, I want to go get crowned because I love it. I love Palo, but I love La Ocha too, and I want to go get crowned Oya or Chango or whatever. That's my guardian angel. I want to. Verify with your Inkishi though. Verify with them.
Mm-hmm.
And vice versa. Vice versa. Your crown Chango, that's all that you ever been in. They went to a misa telling you have to get initiated in Palo. Go ask Chango. Go divine. You see what I'm saying? Make sure that things are well understood. What do you got, Andy?
No, when you said divine, I'm like, in order for you to divine, right? I don't know much about Ocha, but I don't know how deep can a person that's initiated into Ocha divine when you don't know how to throw the dialogun, use the dialogun. If the most that I know that a lot of people in Ocha will use is el coco. You understand? And the coco, it's a simple, very simplistic way of getting answers. You understand? So how can you deeply understand or speak to that orisha when you don't know anything about the dialogun? You don't know how to do caracoles. So it's like, especially in Ocha, the Ocha takes. Well, you get initiated into Ocha, right? From my understanding, you got to be a year. Some say a year, some say a year and a week, and some it all depends. But usually it's a year and a week, right? Then you gotta get out there. You gotta do your ebometa. Then after your ebom, and even before ebometa, you gotta do certain ebo que te hacen, tú sabes, en las manos, en cierto tiempo. Um, and then after you get that, then you gotta get levantado, picked up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And after
Empinado,
you,
all of that
right, and
stuff.
then you gotta get pinalo. And like there's so many powers and so many things that you gotta go through to be able to really become a self-sufficient priest or priestess. Like it's a lot. It ain't just I got initiated, mi ángel de la guardia es Chango, and I already could do it all. No, you
But
can't do
some
it
people
all.
don't even get pinado. Some don't. But it's
Yeah, yeah, I know.
that
Yeah,
all that that's
yeah.
all of their stuff at the end of the day. But this what I'm saying. If you need to get initiated into Palo, why didn't Shango throw it out in the Ita and told you, yo, or though any of those Orishas that spoke there said, yo, you need to go to Palo. Why
Mm-hmm,
after you got crowned and why after you went to another misa they told you, yeah, you gotta go get initiated into Palo.
mm-hmm.
Why? What happened? So you see, there
Right.
was loose ends, maybe in the priesthoods, maybe in the people you were dealing with.
Well, that's the reason. That's the reason I think that a lot of people now these days, well, it's been happening for a while already, that they would first take you to your misas, then they would take you to get initiated into Palo, and then they will crown you to
Then
avoid these problems.
all of these type of problems, and I'm saying all of that is fine. Let them.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's all. Whichever way it is fine. I'm just saying, what do you want as people who are coming to these traditions, who are practicing these traditions, neophytes, people who got initiated? What are you searching for?
Hmm.
What is your goal? Are you trying to fix your own problems, be independent from your godparents? For you to be independent from your godparents, have your own house, your own things, how to handle your own orishas or your own inkisis or your own, do your own readings with Ifa and deal with their orishas and that side, the powers of Ifa that they give you. For you to be like that, you must acquire knowledge within any of them.
Yep.
And it's not going to be overnight. So why are you over here in this land, in Palo, for instance,
Mm-hmm.
telling somebody, look, I'm trying to have an Inkisi and have my own house and initiate people, while then you're also saying I want to crown people too. Not willing to dedicate yourself within one of them to acquire knowledge and then jump lands. To truly acquire knowledge, to be self-sufficient, memorize all the stuff you need to do, understand all the rituals, how to work
Mm-hmm.
the Apollo room and all of this stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and then jump lands to learn how to do that everything over there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because that's more respectable.
Right.
And you will have let's say you will ascend more, you will progress more in that way, which within any land that you do.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have the people who are searching for negative medicine. They want power so they can bewitch people and stuff like that. Within any of the lands, you can do that.
Mm-hmm.
I know we sit up here and people say, no, ocha this, ocha that, ifa this, ifa that. Them, they also are cutthroat.
Mm-hmm.
If you know what you're doing within any of those lands, they cutthroats also. Within Palo, cutthroat. Within Espiritismo, they're all cutthroat. But it all depends on knowledge. So within whatever land that you're in and that you're deciding to practice, make sure that you acquire enough knowledge to be cutthroat before you
Mm-hmm.
jump to another one.
It requires sacrifice. Sacrifice, time. It requires a lot of you. So I mean, why jump into different traditions when you know that each tradition is going to require a certain or a lifetime of servitude, of practice, of learning. It's not simple. You understand? It's not simple. It's not easy, and that's one thing that we and you always talk. You and I we always talk about it, and it's not. I don't want people to feel like we are trying to bash any tradition. We are not, because if you notice, we are even putting Palo in the mix. But at the same time, you know, if you want to be good at something, you have to go through those trials and tribulations. You got to get in that fire. You understand? And to be able to get purified, in other words, to be able to deal. I got some flies coming out now, driving me crazy. Before you could jump into anything, and these things take a long time. You don't learn everything. It's like it's very difficult to learn one system, one tradition, one religion. Imagine a whole bunch of them. And I think that sets us off through the wrong path, and actually it doesn't help us. For me, I think it doesn't help us. I think it makes our life worse, spiritually and physically and mentally.
Because it's too much. It's more than you can bite.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, our ancestors, Afro-Cubans, this culture, our ancestors from these traditions, they created a ladder. That's what it's called, the Afro-Cuban ladder. It's perfectly fine. They put a lot of secrets within one of the lands, like Abawalaos and all that, and their lands of Ifa. We know that Ishesh is not the same as similar, but it's not the same. It has specific treaties and stuff that is Afro-Cuban, and it was there. Um, and obviously that's why they must learn all the other traditions, which I applaud that.
Mm-hmm.
But Abawalao, right, that they don't know Odu. Abawalao that doesn't know the stuff that he needs to know, and then he's jumping to other lands. What's the purpose? What was the purpose of you going into E5? You want to work, another tradition. What's the purpose? Same thing. I'll throw the Paleros too. I'm gonna throw heat at them too. Same as myself, everybody, anybody. Why are you in Palo and you're going to bow out to resolve your problems? That means your Nkisi is not good enough,
Mm-hmm.
not built correctly. What's going on, man?
Mm-hmm.
You telling me that E5 is better than that bow out is neither E5 is neither better than Palo and Palo's neither better than E5. That's what's letting me know that the bow out that you're going to has more knowledge within the physical realm and how to affect things spiritually than
Mm-hmm.
you do.
Exactly.
And that's the truth.
Mm-hmm.
That I'm sorry to say it, but that is the truth.
Yeah.
Um, and that's why you have to go to him.
Hmm.
Um,
And
same thing with La Ocha.
but it's the crazy part that I don't know if many people have run into these things, but that you spoke of right now, I have personal experience with someone that practiced Palo, had more than one in Kisi, actually had them all, got himself into a predicament, couldn't get himself out of it, and went to a Babalo. I'm not saying it's wrong, but I'm saying why he had to go to Babalo when he had all those powers and knowledge of how to work in Kisimalongo. That make as a tristeza and makes us look bad, and not because they went to somewhere else. No, because come on, you got a guy, Tata and Ganga, that has all the things that he needs and supposedly all the knowledge, but he had to go to an Ifa priest to save him. That's
Exactly.
something to look
It,
upon happy.
and look at it. It goes both ways. Exactly. What
Yeah,
is
it
a
does.
Bahala? Supposedly has Orumila. He has his whole hand. He has Osain Odum, all the powers that you can think in that room, and he has to go to a Paleto to resolve his problem. I'm gonna laugh. He comes to me, I'm like, pero papo, I thought
Yeah,
he fought. If he comes to me, I'm gonna look at him and be like, papo, but I thought he fought was it. I
yeah,
thought your
supposed
land
to
was
be.
it has all of it. His land does have all of it. It's just that that priest don't have the knowledge.
Hmm.
He don't have the knowledge.
Hmm.
You see, and that's the truth. And that's these are the boundary lines, that we're speaking about. Another thing is that you see, we're saying to resolve problems, not to practice. Two
Hmm.
different things. To practice
Right.
is because you say, look, I want to be in all three lands, or I want to be in all both lands, which I
Hmm.
have something for that. I have something for that, but it's perfectly fine. All of you guys, as new initiates, as practitioners, and you guys are going to represent this tradition because we're all representing these traditions, believe it or not. It's not just me, not just Andy. Everybody who's initiated in Palo represents it some way, somehow,
All the traditions.
or all the
You're
traditions, the Afro
E5,
Cuban
you
culture.
represent E5. In Ocha, you're representing Ocha.
You're representing all of these traditions. We're all representing them at the end of the day, right? And if you want to practice all three of them, perfectly fine. But you must, at the end, try to become independent. See, become independent well enough, have enough knowledge to fend for yourself. It's like everybody wants to, they're 40 years old, wanting to stay with their mom and dad and live off their mom and dad forever, no job, and get fed what you call baby food. You see what I'm saying? But you're 40 years old. So you tell them you got crowned, or you having kisis, or you have Osana, Orula, all that stuff, and you mean to tell me that you can't resolve your own problems?
Hmm.
Really? You don't have enough knowledge to do that? To practice is another thing. That's because you might love the culture.
Hmm.
That's a
Yeah.
different
And there's
conversation,
nothing
which
wrong with that.
there's nothing wrong with that. And obviously it brings benefits. Well, we can speak about it here. What it brings in money. Because then
Hmm.
you can hit people with hands of E5, you can hit people with La Ocha, you can hit people in Palo too, you can hit people at Peritimo, you can do it all.
Hmm.
That's more money, a money machine, which I call it, which is perfectly fine. All we care about is effects at the end of the day. So we don't have to. We don't. We're not gonna judge. I
Right,
don't
right.
judge that. I don't care if a Babalao charge $400,000 for a hand of IFA. As long as done correctly and it serves its purpose, it keeps away
Hmm.
death. We're all for it.
Right.
Same thing with an Opalelo. Hey, if you charge $400,000 for initiation, that's your problem, bro. Make sure it's just done correctly and the person, things are going well.
Hmm.
Same thing for crowning Chango, whatever you're gonna get crowned.
Ocha, yeah.
Yeah, money has nothing to do with it, but
Yeah.
being in all three lands give you la licencia to work them and to work
Hmm.
the tradition in these ways. So that's one reason why many people want to jump. But if you want to make money, just stick within one and be really good at it. And trust me, you're gonna have more than enough money. There's 7 billion people in this world. There's
Mm-hmm.
more than enough money around here, trust me. So we shouldn't have lust within these traditions in that way. There's more enough food for everybody to eat, especially in this country that we're in. But for the people who want to practice all three of them for the love of it, which I support them, but I do question this. Which one do you give position? Which one has your heart?
Yep.
Because I can't find myself, and I'm saying this here publicly. So in the future, 40 years deep, 30 years deep into Palo, his video might be up.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, and other apps might be out there. But they'll be like, Matamba
Well,
said,
somebody got to record it
yeah,
somewhere.
somebody recorded. Matamba said he would never jump lands. And the reason why I say that is because I give my all to my Nkisi the same way they give their all to me. And I'm gonna change the word Nkisi, I'm gonna use the word Mfumbe. I
Mm-hmm.
have given my all to my Mfumbes and I will continue to give them my all. Every bit of me to them. The same way they give every little bit back. And this symbiotic relationship that we have that is even stronger than love itself. What
Right.
am I doing jumping Tulaocha to go get crowned Oya or go get crowned Chango or go get crowned Obata, whatever, and put that Orisha above my Centella, Mangasaya, or my Kawaii, whichever any of my Nkishis, but specifically my Centella Mangasaya,
Mm-hmm.
that I don't even put nobody. I have never put anybody, not even my mom, nobody. I don't put
Yeah.
anybody. Andy, what I tell you,
I'm
what I,
trying not to bite my fingers, but
yeah, because this is a tougher
it's
conversation, but
tough.
I would
Yeah.
not put I don't put anybody over mine Kisi and what it says. No, what anybody says, what anybody else in Kisi say. I don't care if it's my god kids, my godfathers, Jesus Christ Himself, God on earth. I don't care. I'm more than convinced, well defined within me and that and Kisi's relationship. Same thing I tell Andy all the time. Andy, are you gonna listen to what mine Kisi say or what yours say?
What might say?
All right, the same thing.
I want to throw in just one word, and it's a clue for those who are confused. Enfumbe egun egungun. Enfumbe
Mm.
egun egungun.
Yeah, espiritualidad. Spirituality. Which I have a good friend, really good friends about Lao. I enjoy my conversations with him. Um, so if you guys need hand of IFA or any of that stuff, let me know. I gotta go. He's out in Florida. Let me know. Um, but these are the things that we're talking about. You see that we're gonna who are you gonna give la posición? Who are you gonna truly value?
Right. Who are you going to give that position to when you have multiple things from different traditions? Which is the one that's going to really be the one that you really, I don't know, and it's not just love, is the one that you feel that you're more connected to. You understand? You have to give one the value. Can't give them
And,
all.
this is just the way that I see it. This is the way that I see it. My experience. I'm gonna tell you guys. I was born in Puerto Rico. All that happened with my family, all that stuff. My mom broken apart, never had a father figure, all that stuff, and I lusted for one.
Hmm.
Trust me, I did. I would ask for it every night, most of the time when I went to sleep. Which most boys, they love their mom and everything, but they really need a man in life. They need a father figure to
Hmm.
give them a path. And I lucky. I ended up coming across my godfather.
Hmm.
Obviously, in the beginning, he was very stern and very strong man, but he nurtured me. Everything that I needed and more, life gave it to me through that man. What my mom couldn't give to me, that man gave to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned many things. And not we're not speaking about Matamba here. We're speaking about my personal life and his personal life. But it started as Matamba, my relationship with him. And I was in that in Sokongo, and I swore I was gonna be Briyumba Mulemba hasta el día que yo yampe. Yo fui a ser Briyumba Congo hasta el día que yo yampe. I was gonna be Briyumba Congo to the day I die. You see, I seen many miracles in that house, many things, all type of problems, solutions, this and that.
It's all.
And those are my roots. That's where I come from. That's who I am. And I remember him, as time went by, he told me, ready for your Inkisi. And I remember the day that I got to construct my Sente and I got to see everything that got built there. All the materials, all the stuff, all that washing, all everything. And the treaties that I made with my Mfumbe, my Centella Mangasaya. I remember that day like it was yesterday. I'm just gonna say this so you guys can have a picture. I was under that tree and we were making agreements at night, making those agreements and the seriousness that he spoke to me and all the stuff that he told me. And I was just a boy, I didn't even know what I was getting myself into, but I remember them. My centella got constructed, all that stuff, buried all those things. And I remember putting her in the closet in this little apartment that we had because we didn't have a little house in the back yet.
Of course.
I got, and from all the intimate conversations I was having with my Mfumba, forget Centella, with Mangasaya, when I was just 13 years old and the problems that I had in my head, that they weren't even problems.
Mm-hmm.
And I lived that stage very well. When I got my driver's license, lived that stage very well. Also 16, 17, 18, the problems of coming out of high school, trying to find footing with it. All the medicine that I did that I didn't understand what I was doing, which was always too strong and disbalanced other aspects of my life. Through the good, through the bad, through the ugly, that Mfumba has been there. I ended up becoming independent. Obviously, I have other Nkisis through that time too, but I'm speaking about her. And I left out to the world, out to Miami. It was right there alongside with me. My other Nkisis were there too. Always bending processes in my favor to getting jobs, moving up, this, that,
Mm-hmm.
trials and tribulations, advice. Que yo era cabeza dura,
Hard
tremenda
headed,
cabeza
hard
dura
headed,
que I
hard
had, hard
headed.
headed. But what you expect, I was young, very immature still,
Mm-hmm.
you know. Then, I ended up acquiring a family, a wife, children, going through pregnancy, through all these problems with this and Kisi, this and Fumba, and it's helping me out. On top of that, the knowledge, the battles that me and this and Fumba have gone through, all the nights that I stayed out there conversating with it, day in, day out.
Yep.
All the gifts, all the things, all the trips that I've made, everything that I've done for this and Fumbe, and all the things that it's done for me.
Sure.
Why would I then negotiate this relationship for anything else? And for any other Mfumbe, I won't negotiate that relationship with Masantea, with any other, even within Palo, within any Mfumbe or any of that. That's my Mfumbe.
Mm-hmm.
That's my bread and butter. This Mfumbe is weaved into my existence, which most priests don't get to these levels in Palo. That's why they
Mm-hmm.
jump lands, which is perfectly fine.
Mm-hmm.
You can give me $1 trillion a year, long life. I'll die at 100 years old, full healthy, and I'll die in my sleep. but I can't be with my Centella Mangasaya. I will not make that negotiation. Non-negotiable. That's the intimacy that I have with that Mfumbe. He said, I hecho cualquiera. I put up against any obstacle, any problem, and we're gonna overcome it.
Yes, sir.
And it's not just because, oh, it's built correctly. It's not just because it comes from a good lineage. It's not just because it comes from our Godfather. He put his hands in there. It's not just because this, that forces nature. No, 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 no. It's because of the relationship that we have. That I have never negotiated her, and she has never negotiated me from the very start of our relationship.
Yep.
All the time that I have dedicated and I have stood my ground where I haven't let nobody, even loved ones, speak bad about it, the same way she has let no one overstep me. Why in the world would I want to leave this in Kisi and go worship Elegba and Oya or Chango or whatever and make myself and build a relationship of devotee to that? Why would I want that? For what? So I can be able to crown people or be a hello caracolero when I'm already in this land, when I already have what most people are searching for, a
Mm-hmm.
tremendous Mfumbe and a good relationship with that Mfumbe. Not the Nkishi, not the power, any of that. A true relationship. Somebody that you can truly count on. Some people have that in La Ocha. They got Chango, bro, and that's don't let them down for nothing.
Nothing or nothing. Yeah.
For nothing. Ifa, from Babalaos got Ifa. That if that Odomira don't let him down for nothing. His issue doesn't let him down for nothing. Under any hurricane, under any storm, under
Mm-hmm.
anything, that
Yep.
issue always comes through and don't let him down. Forget
Yes.
everybody else's issue, his issue.
Exactly.
You think he's gonna negotiate his issue to go worship a Lucero? Another and in Kisi, he said, hell no, I'll stay with my issue. This issue can outdo everybody here, man.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Why? Why do you would you have build this type of relationship, dedicate all this time to then throw it away? And that's why the old heads say it's the same. Un viejo amigo nunca se olvida.
Mm-hmm.
If you make those decisions and you get to those levels of Palo, there's no turning back. And that's what I was trying to say in the earlier videos that I post. There's no turning back once you get too intimate within Palo.
Mm-hmm.
There's no turning back once you get too deep within La Hocha. There's no turning back once you get too deep within Ifa. Because
Mm-hmm.
if you throw them away or le da la espalda, it might cost you your life. I'm pretty sure 99% of the time,
Mm-hmm.
if you really had something there.
Yeah.
If you didn't have nothing there, then obviously you can kick it and throw it away. Ah, don't worry about it. But if
Mm-hmm.
when you truly had things
Mm-hmm.
like a good Mfumbe,
Mm-hmm.
I'm speaking towards Impalo. If I jump that land and I get crowned, look, if I even go probably for a reading,
Mm-hmm.
if I go for a reading in La Ocha, I'm telling you, I'm gonna have tremendous havoc after that reading. With a bowl, without a bowl, I'm gonna have tremendous havoc. If I receive any Odisha, even worse. And when I go there, they're gonna say, no, now you're gonna withstand it for doing this, for betraying me.
Mm-hmm.
And people don't think like that because people just see the benefit. What can they gain out of the tradition?
Mm-hmm.
And we cannot sit here and think about what we're gaining. We have to see what we're constructing. You see what I'm saying? What are you constructing with Impalo and Yorn and Kisi? We're talking about priesthood levels, not no Engeyo, not no Tata, not no Yaya, jumping lanes. No, no, we're talking about you receive your fundamentals
Mm-hmm.
and you're well within depth. And you've
Yep.
been thick through thin with this Nkishi, with this Mfumba in particular.
Mm-hmm.
If that's a good Mfumba in there, he's gonna make sure that you don't negotiate him and he's not gonna negotiate you. And it's very personal. Very, we can't get into the details
Mm-hmm.
because I'll be telling you my life, my personal affairs, my things, my problems that these things resolve for me. When we're on an open chat, we're personal chat. I'll be like, yeah, this does this for me. It does has done this for me. It has done that for me.
Exactly.
Forget about the knowledge. It's my relationship with my Mfumbe. If I tell you what's inside of my Nkuyu when it got built, you'll laugh. Be like, that was it. I'm like, yeah, that's it. That's simple.
Mm-hmm.
But it'll move a mountain if it has to.
Exactly.
Forget the faith. Forget all of that.
Yeah.
It's the relationship with the Mfumbe. And that's why when you get in front of your Nkisi and you speak to it, it can move things
Mm-hmm.
because it won't let you down
Yep.
because you have never let it down.
Exactly.
Some can get to those levels. Some of you guys, some people will get to those levels. Others might not. Others are going to die out because it takes too much of who you are. Just like a regular in regular life.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody wants to be married, yeah, in sickness and in health and this and in that. But as soon as their partner gets locked up in a coma or he's paralyzed from the waist down, they divorce and they leave. They
Mm-hmm.
forgot about I'm with you in sickness and in health
Yeah. Till death do us apart.
till death do us part. If that's within the living, what do you expect they're gonna do with their Nkisi? When they don't when they'll sell it out too. They do it within their spouses. What do you
Mm-hmm.
think? They're not gonna do it within their goddamn Nkisis.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the truth. These are the things that I'm referring where the true power comes. Forget about this YouTube stuff, learning things from Matamba, learning things
Mm-hmm.
from Tata Zongo, all the priests, your godfather.
Mm-hmm.
The best teacher that there is out there is your Mfumbe. That's the best teacher. He's gonna teach you things, or he or she will teach you things that there's not even in books you can't even fathom.
Yeah, nobody, not even your godfather knows.
Not even your godfather will know. But for you to get to those levels, you gotta dedicate. You gotta build a relationship with it that is
Mm-hmm.
non-negotiable. Non-negotiable. Like me. This is not speaking bad about Ifa, but look, no hand of Ifa. Death is never gonna catch me. Throwing witchcraft at me for my eat dead to break? Nah. I got my Kishis, my Kuyates, my things. My Centella Mangasaya makes sure I don't die. Orumila don't gotta worry about me.
Mm-hmm.
She's just as powerful as Orumila. And Orumila is just as powerful as Palo and all of that stuff. But I'm dedicated to one. No need for it. At my levels. At
Right.
least in the levels of well-defined things. I don't
Mm-hmm.
need it. I don't need a Lekis. I have my Kuyates. My things within my land. Or this land, right? No, it's not my land, it's this land.
Mm-hmm.
Things are built correctly and things function. If not, why practice it at all? Look, Andy got his coyotes on. You see what I'm saying? If something happened, they're gonna break. The same way
Mm-hmm.
the Elecas are gonna break. The same way the Ide Ifa is gonna break.
Mm-hmm.
Same way. But he's well defined within one, but he's a priest.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, I understand people who are in all three of them for other purposes. For community, for culture, for knowledge, for the money machine. That's perfectly fine. All of that stuff is fine. But within any of the three that you choose to truly get well defined, you're going to figure that out at the end. You're going to come to understand that no matter which land that you're in, it holds all the same amount of power.
Mm-hmm.
I know, Andy, we're going to say, why do they tell us jump from Palo to go get crowned? Why
Exactly.
do,
That's
why
that's that that's what I was gonna tell you because that's where we're gonna segue into real quick. I know that a lot of you, a bunch of you, have heard that too much palo, too much indoki work. In order for you to balance that out, you have to get crowned ocha to balance that negativity because they look at it as negativity. So I wanted to touch a little bit on that and see if you could give us a little information on that. I mean, I know to me, I understand, but some people might not.
Yeah, what's your standpoint?
And why they look at as Palo as negative, like if Palo was made just to do negative work. See,
So
the word negative, it's these terminologies that we use in the English language or in Spanish or any other language. It throws a lot of misconception. These words kind of like, since we don't have too many to pull from, there are certain words that are mainly more used in our language to describe certain things, right? And one of them would be negativity, positivity, black magic, white magic, things of this nature. Palo is neither white magic and neither black magic, you know.
mhm.
Same thing with Ifa, same thing with Ocha. It's neither white or black. There's no negative and there's no positive in these traditions. You understand? These concepts are things that we've been taught here throughout generations, but it doesn't work this way. So if you want to speak a little bit on it, sir, I would appreciate it.
Alrighty. So the white magic, black magic, all those things, good and bad, and stronger and weaker, and all of that. When they explain these traditions, kind of like that, I must use this word again. Lower levels of understanding. See what I'm saying? Those are lower levels to express what's truly going on. Polarity, or Andy said positive and negative. I'm pretty sure he's referring to good and bad. Positive and
Mm-hmm.
negative, like cold and hot,
Mm-hmm.
they exist, but cold can be good and bad. Hot can be good and bad.
Exactly.
So polarity does exist.
Mm-hmm.
And what we're all searching for in reality is balance within a process. Balance is balance between that
Balance.
polarity.
Right.
Does Palo tend to shift the polarities a lot faster? Yeah, because it goes against the natural orders when it comes to doing medicine. It might be too strong. And the priest might not be, which I was in that level heavy. And I didn't get out of that level till probably 2 years ago or something like that. I didn't understand that. My
Mm-hmm.
medicine was always too strong and too drastic, caused too much chaos.
Yeah, I'd
Yeah, it
understand
brought
it.
what I wanted, but it caused too much change, havoc all over the damn place. Because I didn't understand the divination, I didn't understand concept and how
Mm-hmm.
things were functioning.
Yeah.
But I learned it. My little brother taught me that. Back in the day, way back in the day, I was in the military. He's the one who spoke that to me. My godfather always spoke it to me. Empieza por abajo. I didn't understand what that meant. Siempre empieza por abajo, and I didn't get that. Um, and my little brother taught me that. He was in the military. I wasn't. I was still out. I was in Miami at the time. But I started to, understand that concept way more. So what do we mean by that? When we say good and bad and all of that stuff, those are lower levels of understanding of these traditions.
Mm-hmm.
Any of them. All these traditions carry polarity.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that La Ocha and Ifa always work for balance. They work for balance and ride the natural processes. What does that mean? This guy doesn't love you anymore. There's other fishes in the sea. But they got a divine because sometimes they say, look, we can do some work to come back because there's kids involved or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A palero might not do what Ifa is telling, because you don't have Ifa, obviously, might not take that approach of that level of morality. Or a Yaya Nganga or a Tata Nganga might not take that approach. He might say, oh, you want the guy back? Let's do the medicine that's required with the Nkisi to pull him back. Whatever it cost. You see what I'm saying? Even if it costs the life of other people. And that brings ripples out into your life as disbalancement. It brings disbalancements to processes. Because you can do, many people say in Doki, you can do a bunch of good things at night. 12 o'clock at night, you can do a bunch of ensadas and all type of rituals that are for good. You
Mm-hmm.
can do a bunch of negative stuff at night. You can do a bunch of negative stuff during the day. You can do a bunch of negative stuff um when the sun is rising and setting. It doesn't matter good and bad or any of that.
Mm-hmm.
All that depends on the polarity of how you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is that the tradition as a whole, we're in lower levels of understanding of what truly Palo is. And what I mean by that is that the morality and the way that we approach the processes or how to affect things or how to resolve problems is more cutthroat. For example, let's say my daughter comes to me, right? Let's say she's 18 years old, 19, 20 years old. Her husband or her boyfriend cheated on her. I'm about allow. See, I'm more mature because most Bawalaos are a little bit more mature. Let's say that tradition tends to use medicine more maturely. It is within Ikafun and all the way that they do things. They have stronger moralities. And Palo is up to every lineage, every house to do their own thing.
Mm-hmm.
And Ifa, there's a structure, a heavier, better structure. Within La Ocha too, there's more morality to it. What is that man gonna tell you? Oh, he cheated on you. He's not worth it, baby girl. You know, you go find another man. This he'll soothe her.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I'm a palero and I see her crying, maybe my emotions cloud my judgment. Say, oh, we doing negative. I'm gonna go over there and shoot him down for cheating on my daughter. See, two ways to resolve the problems, two different outcomes. Most babalaos and in La Ocha, they tend to bring balance to processes. They do things more natural. Wherein Palo is free, is up to the priest to choose how he wants things to unravel or come to be.
Mm-hmm.
And most priests, 99% of us, because I've been a victim of that too, we tend to go with the strongest medicines. We tend to go with the fastest and strongest way to do things and how to resolve problems. And that's why we say that this tradition, those type of priests don't lack too don't last too long. Because yes, you do it, you see the effect, but it ripples into your life. And then they don't know how to clean those things and maintain those balances.
All right, Tata, I'm taking salam alaikum, elder. I appreciate you coming by for a little bit.
How you doing, Tata Mateki? You see, he's a very, very 30, I think it's like, well, I mean, like 40 something years within these practices. Very mature, a lot of knowledge, learn a lot of things from Tata Mateki. And the Bakinda and all that stuff. But Paulo, as a whole, all of us, we use it as, a street fight. You see what I'm saying? As a jungle.
Mm-hmm.
There is no morality or none of that on how to approach situations in a more balanced way. And each priest it is up to them. And Ifa obviously is within their oduns that they have to approach situations in a certain way. And all the
Mm-hmm.
oduns have character. All the oduns, all 256 have a certain way of how you're supposed to act and do and be. Have a character, right?
Mm-hmm.
A doctrine. Within Palo, that doesn't exist. You see what I'm saying? It does not exist. It is more towards egotism, egotistical, no sentiments. And this is the lower levels of Palo. You see what I'm saying? This is
Mm-hmm.
lower levels. I'm gonna bash our tradition a little bit. Let me bash our tradition.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna bash it. What is the lower levels of Palo? The lower levels of Palo is yimbulas, women shaking their butts. They're half naked. A bunch of alcohol and drugs involved. Um, that's mostly what you're gonna get. Oh, and machismo, a bunch of machismo.
Yeah.
That's their Palo, and a bunch of I'm stronger than you, you're stronger than me, and none of them do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's the lower levels of Palo. I don't know about Ifa because I'm not even Ifa like that. What's their lower levels? Maybe the Bala don't know Odin, or he's trying to do things that he don't know his stuff. Same thing in Laocha, but over here things are different, right? You
Exactly.
see Palo 30 years in, 40 years in, but they can make a leaf move with the wind. But they for sure can speak it. These are the lower levels of Palo.
Right.
It's more frequent. You'll see that it's more frequent, and you as people who are searching for these traditions, you have to look for those red flags. At my Godfather house, none of that existed. It was very stern with respect, very stern. And in many Palo houses that I've been to, many priests I've spoken to, is like that too. It's not just in my Godfather house. And my house is like that. And Andy's, many houses, many priests I know,
Mm-hmm.
they're very stern within the respect.
Yep.
They don't come with their sayas. They don't come following rules. You're getting up out of here. Oh, you're causing problems. All this gossip. You're up out of here. They kick you out them
Mm-hmm.
houses, which is perfectly fine. Um, because they understand that those lower levels of Apollo cause a lot of problems.
Mm-hmm.
What they call caliente or sobo. You see, how they say in
Yeah.
in Ifan
Yeah.
language, oh, mucho sobo in those places, which is true.
Mm-hmm.
And those Germans, there's a bunch of people and all of that. But
Mm-hmm.
those people are lower levels. That's not Palo. That's
Mm-hmm.
just a little aspect of it. That's party and play.
Mm-hmm.
Palo, want me to tell you what Palo is? You in the forest in the middle of a night by yourself running rituals. No light, no shoes, no shirt. That's Palo. Sleeping out there, doing those type of things.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody has a tumor or cancer, resolve it. Not say
Mm-hmm.
it, resolve it.
Mm-hmm.
You have this problem, let's do this. You have this, let's do that.
Mm-hmm.
Those are different levels. That's working the tradition, not
Mm-hmm.
partying within it.
Right.
We know it's part of the Cuban culture. We know it's a Hispanic culture. We all like to, cook it. They cook the pig, hacen el chilindrón, they cook goat,
Mm-hmm.
and they got music going on, playing dominoes, drunk, and all of this. All, it's fine.
Right.
That's part of our culture. But that's not Palo. That's the lower levels,
Mm-hmm.
very lower levels, and many people. And I've been involved in those things too. Not in my Godfather house, no, but I've been to houses that are like that. Yeah, I've been to houses in Miami that are all about that. Every weekend, it doesn't fail. Every weekend, get the 24 pack, big
They're drunk.
coolers, two
They're
24
drunk.
packs, they drinking, they having a great time, just got out of work, sacrifice animals to the Nkisi, come out, play dominoes, joke around,
Hour
till
later, fight.
3 in the morning, hour later fight, all this type of crap. That's
Yeah.
the lower levels of Palo. Eso no es Palo. That's not
That's
in
not
Kisi
Palo.
Malongo. That is none of that.
Nope.
And those are the people who have hand and refi. They're all over the place. They don't move nothing. You have to get well defined within this tradition if you really want to gain knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
I don't waste, like me, I don't waste my time. I really don't. I might go to a Yimbula from time to time, but not every weekend, not every month. I don't do that. I don't have time for that. Um, and us as all of us that you're trying to get initiated and you're looking for the long run, you're saying, I want to be, I want to have my own kishi, my own things to better me, myself, and my family.
Mm-hmm.
You got to stay away from those yimbulas, or you
Yeah.
got to stay away from the party and play in any of these traditions. I'm pretty sure in Ifa and all of that, they have it too. I just haven't been witness to it.
Yeah.
I haven't been involved in those affairs like that. For sure, in Palo, I have.
Yeah.
I've always spoken to Babalaos, and they're very respectful. Many of them are extremely knowledgeable because I study somewhat Ifa, even though I'm not supposed to a certain extent. I just study for culture, and they know more than me. If you know more than me, then you're good to go. If you know less than me, then I say no, you know good Babalao. You see what I'm saying? And these are the things that I'm referring that every Babalao I always come across. They handle things with maturity, and Paulo, that's what we need. We need more maturity, more class, or more doctrine, I guess. And yes, there are conversations where they're strong. You're gonna deal with all walks of life, but that doesn't mean that respect and boundaries are not gonna be there. And if you don't have that, you don't have those respect boundaries, those morals, and all of that, in all aspects of Palo, you're not gonna last long. I'm telling you, ese muerto is gonna catch you sooner or later.
Mm-hmm.
Sooner or later. Positive and negative, that's a negative aspect. What I mean by negative, lower levels of Palo is the negative. Be in that realm and you're gonna get a bunch of crap on you. J- You're around a bunch of yimbulas. Majority of people do all that stuff. A bunch of negative people, drugs, and all of these things. and practicing Palo in those rooms, always negative, trying to cause harm to people, why don't you think that you go to a misa or you go get a reading from somebody else and say, yo, you got to go to La Ocha?
Hmm.
Why don't you think that, are they telling, they're being right. They're telling you, don't to La Ocha. Because in La Ocha, most houses that you're going to come across, it's not like that. Majority of people, I say like 60, 70% don't be doing these type of things. Like if it's Palo, they're more about working the room, learning, and stuff like that. Other bosses, padrinos, and stuff like that, they're there for the money. What I mean that they don't want to teach. They don't want to teach. They do the stuff and they leave. But that's a different conversation because it's a two-way street there.
There's more respect. I've been to. I mean, I know it's not called drummings, but I've been to a couple of toques de tambor when they got the bata and stuff like that, and then you see the respect even to those drums, the respect that they even bow down to them. You understand, and give them that reverence. The people, are very, like they dance whatever song is for each orisha and stuff like that. And you don't and I'm gonna tell you, here and then you will see them drinking, but you don't see things going crazy, going out of bounds, disrespect. I haven't seen it. Even I've been to a couple, and I haven't seen it. Everything is nice.
Which is true. That's very true. And I got this person here, I think Lola saying about ego and power. Colamuca, you just have before you lose it. It says there, or I have there, it says, power corrupts the best and attracts the worst. To truly gain power, you must lower yourself to pick it up. People who don't have morality and they have strong egos, they don't truly have power. That's like a dog that barks and has no teeth. Who always speaks about negative, 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 negative. They don't do that. They don't do that type of stuff. You see what I'm saying?
Hmm.
You must lower yourself to pick up power. In other words, you got to let go of your ego. Yes, in Paulo there is that, but that's what I'm trying to explain. In Ifa, they have power, man. And the higher levels of Ifa, not no new initiate. You just got, Itefa done. You're about allowed now. You're starting to study. You receive a sign, Odun. Yeah, you have power, but you're only 2 years in. You're not fully there. When you truly dive into the secrets and the things that you have to do, if you think that those when you receive a sign, you don't go into a forest, you don't do things out in the middle of a night. There's priests out there that do those things, that they have power, they have knowledge over old dooms and over how things are functioning. So that's another misunderstanding that they think that Paulo is the only one that is the strongest. No, neither of them are stronger than one another. It is the priest and his knowledge.
Exactly. Now
I
what?
fear more about Allah than I fear a Palero. Because I know majority of them don't know concept, don't know what they're doing, don't know code, don't know majority of them. The Babalaos, they will wear their little hats. They're
Hmm.
very respectful, but don't get it twisted with them.
Hmm.
For
I
the
want.
for the respectable ones, you know.
I wanted to cut. I mean to cut you out. I'm sorry for that, but that question that you was listening to, even though we're not taking questions right now, but it spoke about more like what holds you, right? I'm gonna bring it up, right? And I'm gonna read. See, how do you check your own ego morality when you have that much power? What motivates you to stick to your morals, which you already was speaking about? But what I also need you to speak about is that I don't know in all the rest of houses of but I know for myself and my grandma, right? But Yumba Mulemba, our our Inkisis have morals, and our Inkisis hold us to those morals. So it ain't just us. That's what I wanted to say. Just to
Which you,
add to that.
wh- which Andy is speaking the truth. Andy's 100% speaking the truth. My Mfumbe, when he's saying Kisi, he's saying Mfumbe, right?
Hmm.
Mayan Fumbe has morality. He's not. Look, Masentea Mangasaya, I'm telling you this. If I cheat or I hit on a woman or any of those things, listen,
Yeah,
I'm not going to be in this round.
yeah.
My
Bring
time
it
is
up.
gone. So if you see if I ever die early or any of that stuff, just know you guys will figure out. Somebody will come online and be like, look, he died 'cause he did this dumb crap. This is a lesson from Matamba. The Matamba ended up messing up and look, it cost him his life. Yes. Yes, it's
Yep.
a double-edged sword, and you live if you live by the sword, you're gonna die by the
Die by
sword
the
here.
sword.
And
Exactly.
that's the way it is. It's cutthroat. There's levels of morality, and there's priests on YouTube and all of that that know
Mm-hmm.
that they seen their godfathers commit
Immoral
mistakes,
mistakes and immoral
immoral
things.
things, and the muertos come down and they se la aplican. Oh no, no,
Yeah.
buddy, you about to figure out what it is a good morality, and they se la aplican, and hopefully you beg for mercy, beg for them to have mercy on you,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm gonna tell you something. This is personal things because I can't go into a personal in an open chat, but just imagine me in a room. This happened not too long ago, a couple months ago. I was in the room divining, doing a divination for some people. I'm gonna use that word people and stuff like that. Macete said, don't get involved and don't give no habla criterio. Don't speak bad about anything.
Yeah.
Stuff starts coming out, this and that, whatever. I couldn't hold it.
Yeah. Don't
I
criticize.
don't criticize. I couldn't hold it in. It was just too funny for me. I'm inside the room. It was just too funny for me.
As a human being, you
Too
couldn't hold
as
it.
a human being, it was just too funny. I couldn't hold it in. I started laughing in the room. I couldn't hold it in. It was just too funny. I'm not gonna say what it was because
Mm-hmm.
I'm not
Yeah.
gonna do that.
All
But I
right.
started laughing. After I finished laughing after like 6, 7, 10 minutes straight laughing. I just couldn't. Una risa that I
Yeah.
had.
Una
And
pavera
I
tenía
don't
ahí.
even want to think about it. I start laughing here. I feel like I go back in the room. They're going, "Oh, you're gonna keep laughing about that?" When I told you not to, you see what I'm saying? I started laughing. After I finished laughing, I looked at the person and I told him, "How much you want to bet this ain't Fumba my Santea?" And I was pissed the hell off. How much you want to bet? This was gonna come down on the ground. Watch. Kufua. So I told you. Now I'm in problems. Thank God or think life. I'm gonna use get life because people think differently.
Yeah.
Thank, thank to my luck, there wasn't another priest in the house, like Andy or any of my other gods in Tatantembo. No other priest. No other priest. It was just me and those and that person, those people there. If there was another priest, I would have got hit with the machetes because I laughed. So I had to they accepted negotiation on another aspect,
All right.
other animals, because I just laughed at a
Mm-hmm.
serious matter. It's kind of like you go to the doctor to show your hurt that you have a I don't know a lump in your breast,
Something. Yeah.
and your doctor goes to see your breast and starts laughing because he's seen your nipple. How unprofessional that doctor laughing. That's what happened in the room, and it was just me laughing.
Mm-hmm.
The seriousness, that's a disrespect. And
Mm-hmm.
my Mfumbe did not play the level of morality. You see, it told me. No, it wanted me to get hit with the machetes.
Ahead of
That's
time,
what
it
it
tell
really
you.
wanted.
Yeah.
I already knew. I seen that kufu. I said, "Oh yeah, this is gonna be bad." Because I start laughing. La falta de respeto. Yeah,
Yeah.
they'll put pressure on you like you have no clue.
And this is what people fail to understand. And not every house or every muerto is this way, but this is something very important for people to understand. Very important.
And that starts to be built as you go building that intimate relationship. That's it goes getting built day in, day in, day out, day in, day out. The boundaries of that relationship starts to get established. All of this intimacy with that Mfumbe and the priest, it gets there's very intimate,
Exactly.
very intimate. Um, and it's gonna make sure that you uphold your end the same way you're gonna make sure it upholds its end.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what people don't understand. When you break and you negotiate, y le quita el valor,
The
not the
value.
price. The one thing is price, another thing is the value. You take away the value away from your Nkisi in your life or that Mfumbe, and you guys had a good connection. You were there in those top levels, high levels of understanding and all of this.
Mm-hmm.
It's a betrayal to the Mfumbe.
Mm-hmm.
It's like if you stabbed them in the back. So guess what's gonna happen to you, buddy? It's gonna stab you in the back. So I'm gonna say it once again. Masentea Mangasaya has never negotiated me. Why in the world would I ever negotiate her? For any Orisha or any other Mfumbe? For anybody else's. If Vandy's and Kishi said this, I'm gonna make sure with Masentea.
Mm-hmm.
And if Masentea said, don't worry about it, that's a bunch of horse crap. It tells me that. I'm gonna say, Andy, all due respect, I don't care what you and Fumba say. I do what Masentea Mangasaya said.
Exactly.
And the same way Andy would do it to me.
That's all how
Andy's gonna
it's
be, oh,
supposed to be.
Mangasaya said that. Guess what? Masarana said otherwise. And I'm doing what my Sarawanda said. I don't care.
Yeah. Yeah.
These are the things nobody can get in between your relationship with you and your Mfumbe. Ain't
Yeah.
no Bawalao gonna tell me that I need to get crowned Chango or Ya or any Oba or any Epidit. Nobody.
Mm-hmm.
And not even a spirit himself.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're mounted, you better tell me Masantea's name. Tell me her name, and then I'll start to believe you. Then I'll go question inside the room. Should I jump to those other lands? Because Masantea has never felt me. She has never negotiated me. So why would I negotiate her?
Mm-hmm.
Why would I listen to what Alegua saying or Chango saying in those itases?
Mm-hmm.
So this is a good question that they might ask. Would I ever go get another reading from another priest? No. I don't need to get no other. I'm in the levels. You see, I'm gonna say it again. I'm in a priesthood level. If I was a Tata uh or an Engayo, maybe my godfather, he passed away, or my godfather me fell out and I need to go over here. Perfectly. But
Mm-hmm.
when you have your Nkishi, for me to get a reading to find problems and find solutions, I don't need to get no reading from nobody. My Centella Mangasai is there. If I do that to resolve a problem, I'm saying that my Centella Mangasai is not strong enough, aren't I?
Mm-hmm. You don't trust in
That's what
her.
yeah, I don't have no trust in her.
Mm-hmm.
Or I don't have sufficient knowledge in the divination system. And this is gonna hurt. This is very controversial. It's gonna hurt people. But am I speaking facts or am I not speaking facts? If you say you're a well-defined diviner and you have power with your Sarawanda or your Insatsi or whatever you have, why should you need to go to anybody else to get a reading?
Exactly.
Why?
Mm-hmm. And the dangers of going to someone else getting a reading.
Yeah, the first danger is it's to me that's already stab in the back.
It's a stab in the back.
You see, you should be self-sufficient there. Exactly. So,
Exactly.
right, if you have an Inkisi, you're a priest, shouldn't you be self-sufficient?
Mm-hmm. If you're not, look to get self-sufficient. You don't have
If
to
you're
jump
not,
nowhere else.
exactly right. If you're a priest already, you have your Inkisi, start looking to get well-defined. You're not up to those levels. But obviously, if you're in these other levels, oh, you know divination. Oh, you know this, you know all of that. You jump into other lands and get reading all of what's going on with you. You see, it's like you being a hypocrite to your own self.
Yep.
I always said it. I've only gotten one reading, one time, and it was with my godfather. From there on, never got a reading from nobody else. Everything been with my Centella Mangasaya from there on until the day I die. No Ifa, no Ocha, no nothing. My Centella Mangasaya. What she says is what I do. And they have never felt me. That's how you're gonna gain power. Not get a reading over here. This year, and Sasi said this, and then you go, oh, you know what? I didn't like what he said. I'm gonna go to this old boy, see what he tells me. Do this and bull, this over here. Y'all ain't like what he said. I'm gonna jump over there. You don't want to resolve the problem. That's the problem here.
No, you don't want to hear what you
The
need to hear.
truth. Hmm.
That's the problem.
And I'm speaking more towards, you see, priesthoods. This is not in Gayos and Tatas and yada that don't have in Kisis or any of this stuff. We're
Mm-hmm.
talking about priesthood levels. What should a Bawalao, who supposedly has 10 years under his belt, 15 years under his belt, 20 years of his belt, be coming to me for me to tell him his problems? Sit in
Mm-hmm.
his Ifa or Rumila be telling him his problems and what he has to do.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not good enough. You spent 15 years in Ifa. You mean to tell me that my Inkisis are better than that my Palo stuff is stronger than yours? That's what you're telling me. Because in 15 years, you're giving a bunch of hand of Ifas, you've been teaching people, you've been doing all of this. You're saying that either I'm more knowledgeable than you or you're not fit for your position. Because you shouldn't be doing hands of Ifa, doing Itase, doing none of that if
Mm-hmm.
you don't know divination.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing is if you're working. Another what I'm trying to say, another thing is if you're calling your godfather, asking for knowledge over divination, that's a different aspect because you're learning still.
Mm-hmm.
I'm referring to you resolve your problems somewhere else instead of with your own things. And this is something that this is very bad within our tradition
Mm-hmm.
that I see a lot. I don't judge, to each his own. It's your life. You live what you want to live and do what you want to do. But if you guys ask for advice and I give it, and he gives it, we're giving it. Some of you guys might like it. Some of you guys might be like, "Oh no," that's up to you.
Yeah.
You can lie to others. You can lie to me, but you can't lie to yourself. I
Mm-hmm.
can't sit up here and lie to myself. You see
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? I can lie to you guys, but I can't lie to myself. Isn't that the truth?
Yes, it is.
I will know if my centella mangasaya is resolving my problems or not. Obviously, look, I don't have no eat day, no eat, no guerrero, none of that. She's resolving all my problems. And
Mm-hmm.
my Guayene too, my Saravana, I had to put them in there because they helped me out big time also. And if I need another Nkisi, I built the other Nkisi because I
Mm-hmm.
have the knowledge to do so. I don't need to go get crowned to resolve a problem. Those Mfumbas, that's all that I ever need. The more that you have does not mean that you're more powerful.
Right.
It's quality over quantity.
Exactly.
Because many people sleep on little enguyos and all that. People, they don't know because they see things from different aspects. And it's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
He said, we say don't lie to God and don't let yourself because God knows better and you should know better, which is true. You can't lie. You see what I'm saying? You can't lie to yourself.
Yeah. You can lie to everybody else.
You can't lie to yourself, man. And I sit here and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
when are we gonna choose to get well defined as priest? And that you know where is that gonna start? With the relationship with the Mfumbe. Esa mangasaya, mine Kisi mangasaya. I swear to you guys, man. And I've spoken to other priests that when I touch these subjects, they cry. They sit there and they cry. I pull the tears out of their eyes because they know exactly what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
They know what it is to be up against the ropes, be up against the sword in the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Not no little problem in life, not no ticket, none of that. We're talking about major issues,
Mm-hmm.
strong problems in life, real problems. Because you don't got $500 in your saving account does not mean that's a real problem. We're talking about illnesses and cancers and all these things.
Mm-hmm.
And they go to their Nkisis and that thing doesn't let him down. He goes and speaks to his Nkisi, hey old man, I need you. And that Nkishi say, I got you, this is what I need. And he resolves it. Every time. It don't fail him.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're talking about here. That's the higher levels of Apollo.
Yeah.
That it don't fail you. It don't fail you. And it tells you and it's this and it's that. Day in and day out, problem after problem, living the good times, the bad times, the ugly, everything there and there and there and there. Why in the world would you negotiate that in Fumbe?
What is one of the most happiest? I would say happiest or for myself, right? Me thinking about these type of things. Don't doesn't anyone find joy, right? When whatever tradition you're working in, right? or you follow, or you practice, and you well established, and you know what you're doing, and you received a, let's say, a patient, a client, an individual, and you are able to resolve that person's problems. You know it's not you. You know it ain't you. It's that infumbe.
Hmm.
And when you get that acknowledgement from that person, that individual, that what your infumbe said or what did you do came out the way that it said it was going to be, or solve the issue that they had, there's no amount of joy or happiness I think that you will feel. Not because you think you're better or you're stronger, because in all reality, you know you ain't nobody. It's that infumbe. The joy you feel towards that infumbe and for the person that you was able to help out with what? That infumbe. There's no amount of joy that you could feel in these practices as an Inkisimanonga practitioner. I don't think so.
Yeah, which is true. That's very true. And it hits because that's what Paulo is. You have, that's what I'm saying. Only when you're there to experience that.
And when it tells you something, it's that thing, and what it's warning you to be careful of and all that, and it happens to you, forget about it.
Yeah. Like you sit there, you're like, being a bursting no me fire, bro.
Damn.
This, yeah, and it gets very emotional.
Yeah.
Trust me, it's emotional
Mm-hmm.
because then you know all the countless nights that you stayed there, 4 or 5 hours in those rooms and speaking to it, all the stuff, all the time that you put into it. You see it, which Will not too long ago he said that he
Mm-hmm.
said I did this reading and it
He
said
was
this and it
happy.
happened. Yeah, you
Yeah.
see it hits different.
It does.
It hits different, man.
If you
And
believed and if you have faith, that's out the window.
yeah, that's for lower levels. I love when they say ten fe and with man, fíjate la fe. Forget the faith. I'm here to know. We're here to figure it out. To know,
Yep. Not to
especially
hope.
with like strong processes like illnesses and things like that, court problems, those processes.
Mm-hmm.
Like to cause havoc and all of that and to do that we know that's gonna happen like that. Sooner or later that's gonna hit. We have no issues with that. We refer to a court process where there's time involved, where there's tumors and cancers and surgeries, things that are very delicate,
Mm-hmm.
and you resolve those problems. Where there's ticking time, time is ticking, and Dana Fumba tells you, "I got you. Don't worry about this, man." And he does it, and you sit there thinking, "I mean, este muy truta."
and,
Why? That's what I'm saying. Why would
and
you negotiate?
nobody, and the thing is that nobody knows but those individuals, or that individual, yourself, and that inkisi. You know, it's not for the public. It's not for you to go boast, but the joy. You know what I mean?
It's the joy that you have, when you sit there. And there's a thing that and that's very hard. Like my godfather taught me that. That's was something that I seen in him. The way, because this is a lot of stuff with the relationship and boundaries. When you see that the way that you react, you have to be careful. You see what I'm
Yes.
saying? You have to be careful how you react to them. If they hit it and you went crazy in the room, telling, go on your way to this and that. Next time that he does it, you better do the same thing, even if it's a simple effect.
Mm-hmm.
Like you knew, keep the same appreciation. Because if you don't do that, he's gonna think that like last time, I moved a mountain for you, and this time I moved a boulder, and you didn't even praise me.
Right, right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You gotta keep
That same
giving
energy.
them that same energy. It's kind of like with somebody, they paid your rent. Let's say that somebody gave you money, paid your rent, you were very appreciative. Then the next day they brought you food, and you didn't even say thank you.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So you still got to show the same appreciation, no matter
How
and
big or small?
how big or small they resolve your problem.
Exactly.
Because if not, you look ungrateful. I learned that. I
Mm-hmm.
learned that. So
Mm-hmm.
you got to make sure that you know how to interact with them. And is letting you know. You see, once again, morality. He's
Mm-hmm.
teaching you,
Mm-hmm.
and you guys have no clue. What it is. I don't know about La Ocha ni Fa, but you have no clue what it is to be in that room, man. And as a priest, you got your Inquisition, not in Kid or any of that. Because you guys think that the Tata's in there doing witchcraft all night. No, man, he's in there spending time with Inquisitions, and you get
Talking and reminiscing.
talking, and you see that in Fumbe, and you tell your Mfumbe, I love you. And that Mfumba tells you, I don't love you. I adore you. Do you understand the sentiments that comes behind that? The deepness of it?
Mm-hmm.
You guys have that. That is very personal. These are things that not the common practitioner, different levels. You see what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? That they're gonna get to.
Exactly.
People who throw away their things and all of that, those people they were never in the tradition. They were never practicing truly. But
Mm-hmm.
once you're truly in these levels, whether in Laocha, Ifa, or specifically in Palo, I can't speak for those lands because I don't know. I don't know, what it must feel like. But
Mm-hmm.
I do know in this land what it feels like to go in that room and have a very intimate conversation, and that Mfumba show himself and tells you that,
Mm-hmm.
and is something that money cannot buy, that you cannot exchange that over nothing. And then you mean to tell me that I have to leave that for an Orisha, for any one of them, or for Buddha, or for Jesus Christ, or for whoever? You crazy, man.
Mm-hmm.
You crazy. You gotta be schizophrenic or something. If you asking me to do that.
Yep.
I'm gonna say it again. Since I'm 13 years old, I've been with my Centella Mangasaya. And I'm gonna be with her until I'm wrinkly and I die. That's the truth. The truth. Nothing's taking that position away. I don't want no other Mfumbe. I don't want no other nothing. That's my Nkisi. Because you can rebuild them. You
Mm-hmm.
can rebuild the Nkisi. I can deconstruct, change them Mfumba, build a whole new Santeya. No, no, it's that Mfumbe, bro. It's that Mfumbe. It's that person.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? She don't want nobody else but me too. Non-negotiable.
Yep.
She don't want nobody else but me. I'm well tested and she's well tested. And time at the end is still testing. We're gonna pass the test of time itself.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something personal between me, my, and Kishi. I'm speaking this for you guys to see in the long game when you want to be priests and you receive your Nkuyos and Kishis and all that, you get to witness the stuff. You start sitting down and be like, yeah, this my partner in crime.
Yeah.
This my bread and butter. This my rock. This my confidence. This my Matamba Ganga. This is my
Lemba. Lemba.
yeah. This my limba. This my everything. Like I tell my Centella Mangasaya, it's you and me against the world. Y se la echo a cualquiera. I put her up to race up against anybody in any process. If she agrees, let's see.
Mm-hmm.
I have that much confidence in that Mfumbe.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because it is like that. And the same thing is within the living realm. Haven't
Mm-hmm.
you come across people, friends, family members, that no matter what, they never failed you?
Mm-hmm.
Look, there's fathers and mothers that their kids are addicts in the street. And day in and day out, night after night, they go picking them up from the street, taking them to to the
Rehabilitation.
rehabilitation, spending money on them day in and day out, day in and day out, because
Mm-hmm.
that's their kids. They're never gonna fail their kids,
Mm-hmm.
even if their kids are failing them, bro.
Mm-hmm.
True dedication, and that's real love. There, real sacrifice,
Mm-hmm.
because there's only sometimes things only can hold so much.
Mm-hmm.
So is my love for my centella unconditional? No. For my Fumba is not unconditional, the same way hers is not unconditional. But due to the fact that is not unconditional is that is real. because unconditional love, I have never heard of it. I have never seen it, and it doesn't exist, at least to my knowledge, as of my processes and my age.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there are boundaries. If I fail, I'll be gone, and the love, I can make decisions that, can take a hatchet to me and my and Fumba's relationship. The same way that she can.
Mm-hmm.
And the same way within the living. I can make decisions that can hurt Andy. And Andy can make decisions that can hurt me.
Mm-hmm.
But it's through, because I've made decisions that have hurt my Kishi because I didn't understand. But it's through forgiveness and understanding that we continued on. And we both continue. Bajamos cuenta, empezamos nuevo. You
Mm-hmm.
see what I'm saying? The same thing with her. Certain aspects where they do get out of control. They do get out of control and cause havoc or this or that. Y tu hoja cuenta empieza nuevo with them. You slack on 'em. But most of Fumbas, they tend to be a little more stronger in that aspect. And what I'm trying to explain to you guys is that you guys are, oh, Sarabanda, you guys look at, oh, Insasi, Cholawenge, forget all that horse crap.
Mm-hmm.
It is lower levels, focus more on the Mfumbe and that relationship that you have.
Exactly.
Because that's all that you really have. It's just that Mfumbe, that thing in you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the truth.
Exactly.
Now,
So
what you got, Andy? Real
no,
quick,
I was gonna
before I
say no,
switch it.
no, because I don't want we might have people here that are in other practices. You understand, and that's not to say that um you know Palo is the all be all. For us, it is. For you, it may not. So whatever your tradition is, whatever you are practicing, the name of the game is to be the best that you could be at it, reverence it, stay stay humble to it, stay firm,
Loyal.
loyal, and if you develop that relationship, whether it be with an Orisha or whatever Loa, whatever it may be, stay there. Stay there. There's no need for you to jump anywhere or to any other land if that is what you trust and you're loyal and it's loyal to you. There's no need to jump to anything else. You understand? Simple as that. That's all we're trying to say here. We're not trying to bash any tradition, any religion, any practice. If for us, this is how we feel. So if anyone here is in another tradition, then you should be feeling the same way about what you practice, about what you
Exactly.
have confidence in. You understand? So I just wanted to make that clear because I don't want people to think that we're bashing other tradition or anything because we keep on going into, oh, he father this and, no, no, and then Palo. No, whatever you trust, that's what you should be loyal to. That's it.
Exactly. If my godfather, I'm gonna say it again, if my godfather was a Babalao, trust me, I would be a hell of a Babalao. I could recite any old thing, anything from Isheshe all the way down, from a girl from Isheshe all the way to Afro Cuban Lukumi. I would have memorized all of that, ran all the ritual. That's would have been my thing. That
Mm-hmm.
would have been who I was or was gonna become. Because
Mm-hmm.
he's the one who influenced me. And that would have been the truth. Um, if I would have been in Laoche, it would have been in Obaudiate. Guess what? I would have been a hell of a Obaudiate with the cowrie shell and the master of ceremonies also in the like that. I would have been, you see,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying you can't study those lands because I do study them. I speak about them, this and that on not public platforms a lot, but off public platforms. I have good friends that are Babalaos. If you need hands of EFA or any of that stuff, good Babalaos. I got contacts for that. I know Bazo Oriate, if you guys are searching to get crowned or any of that, I can refer you to them. And
Mm-hmm.
priests and Palo, I always give priests that are near your local area. If I know
Mm-hmm.
some that are good or this, look, I've spoken to them. I haven't been to the house, but go there. Um,
And we got a
and et
very
cetera,
good,
et cetera.
and we know a very good priest that practices, or it's a great, 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 great Bakinda.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the Bakenda too.
Very,
We have
very
a
great,
great
great,
priest.
and Bakinda with a lot of knowledge, and encyclopedia of knowledge.
And also, hell of a cardsman. You know, he can
Yeah,
truly carve and keysees, all type of things. So you want to get a hand carving of a sign, he can do it. Hand
hella
carving and
diviner too.
keysees, or anything, that man can do it.
Yep.
And you know, these are the things, but we have to get well defined within these practices,
hmm Whichever
within the
one you
higher
be.
levels. This is from the priest. I'm talking to priests,
Yep.
the people who are saying, I want to be independent. I
hmm
want to be the best that I can be. Not for the people who are saying, I want to practice these traditions and be involved in them. If you want to be involved in all, perfectly fine. You stay within the lower levels. As time goes by, you end up learning, but you end up seeing what I'm talking about.
hmm
And then there's a very few who can practice them all at once, who truly gain knowledge all at once. There's going to be those very fews. Which we also have to leave room for that there will be in Palo, they will be in La Hocha, they will be in
hmm
Ifa,
hmm
and they're hella espiritista, they
hmm
will. And that's because they were probably in a good, they had luck.
hmm
They had luck within these traditions. They are out there.
hmm
Um, Obviously I had luck within Palo. I know Greek Babalawos and all that. I can't. I ascended too fast. What I mean by
hmm
that, I had good foundations in the beginning, which never. Now within the treaties that I made with my Pumas, they will never let me jump lands. No way, Jose. And then it's not in my heart. It's not in my heart. I
Right.
won't do anything that don't feel right for me.
hmm
If it feels right for you, jump it. You see what I'm saying? If you feel right, actually in Kisi, do what you do, jump lands. If they didn't tell you no, then don't do it. But I'm just being honest. Like Asojuano, I love that's my
hmm
Orisha right there. Asojuano, Babaluaye,
hmm
that all the Orisha. I love Eshu. I love reading, Patakisi, Eshu involving
hmm
all things. Him
hmm
and Asojuano, my favorite ones, the stories and the things. Favorite ones, man. But that don't mean that, I'm gonna go get, my Asojuano or any of that stuff, or I'm gonna, receive Eshu or any of that stuff. I study it, I read about it, all these things, but I don't practice it. I stay
hmm
with Marco Allende,
hmm
Catrasuelo, and that's good enough, bro. El Gran Maestro. He's a grandmaster. And that's my bread and butter. But I'm gonna shift the conversation a little bit because we're talking about different levels. You see, levels of these things.
hmm So let's talk
And there was
about
a
the consciousness and go
there
into that.
was yeah, there was a question that one of the followers was speaking about Palo and consciousness. Like ascending and understanding and all of that. You're not gonna find that obviously online. And that is very that's for the top tier conversations.
hmm
Priests who have multiple inquisitions, at least with Palo. Ifa, La Ocha, maybe they have it, maybe they don't. I don't know. I'm talking about with Palo, these conversations about consciousness, the secrets of how things are functioning, who you are, what's going on, all of those type of conversations, when they really get juicy, not just laying foundation, but when they really get juicy, it's for top tier. It's for when you're in the real priesthood levels, you're well defined already. Those conversations start to happen with among priests and among your godparents and all of that. Not just there among priests. Like there's priests who contact me when that's what we speak about, how things are functioning, patterns, what's going on. I spoke a little bit about it through the eyes of a spirit, the local, non-local realms, and consciousness and all of that. How to ascend it, meditation, all of that stuff is very important. Fasting. You think we don't fast? We
hmm
fast.
hmm
You think that we don't have a ayuna? That's what they call it, fast. We do that before rituals. You think we don't meditate? We do meditate. That's how you can connect with the Mfumbi a lot better. Not for you to be able to get the intuition, not hear him, but get the intuition. To hear him, you hear a voice. It's just I'm telling you, you're going to hear of. It's just gonna be far away. It's like it's not whispering. It's just be far away. But all that has to do with development and spirituality, and those are her deeper conversations. but you have to understand the concepts for us to have those conversations of what we are or who
Mm-hmm.
we are and all of those things. And I in Ifa and La Ocha, I don't know if they have those conversations like that. I haven't had those conversations with Baalaos or Obazas or any of that. We always speak about, Oduns and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like we always speak about Oduns. We speak about Oduns. And they always tell me, Angelito, you're not a Baala, you're not supposed to be knowing that. And they'll say, you're wrong on this aspect because you're not a Baala. There's certain, we had those debates.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Other aspects, they'll be like, yeah, you know these things. He says, in Ocha, we do. You see? Is it common, Pacific Dogwood? Is it common to speak about that publicly, about consciousness and all of that stuff? He says, or at least in my Ile. But you see in their houses, they'll teach those things. It's within specific people of certain levels of understanding, but there is consciousness and how to ascend.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to understand the concepts of how things are functioning. He say, yeah, Ori is the higher self. You see, speak about Ori and all of that stuff. Um, who you truly are. You see what
Right.
I'm saying? Um, he says, not in my Ile, it isn't. There are levels to
So
what
what
knowledge is
knowledge is
shared.
shared? That's correct. That's what we're talking about here. There are levels.
You see, and that's all we're talking about. There's levels. I think it's Janae. Um, as time goes by, sooner or later you'll see that. You'll start speaking about those things. If those elders have that type of knowledge. Meditation is how we connect with the ancestors and the orishas. You see what I'm saying? Um, but those conversations are not had this much, and I'm pretty sure that Piritimo for sure is there, but they're not publicly because that's going into practice. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like I can tell you guys, look, this is what I do inside the Insokongo. This is how this is how that. I can't do that on these platforms, non-initiated, all of that, all these
Mm-hmm.
things. So these platforms, we can just give concepts and orientation on things. We need to build a society of worship like the major religions have. Which, that's in the future. That's coming along. We're here for a short period of time, but sooner or later, if
Mm-hmm.
we as a collective in this moment now don't do it, sooner or later our descendants will.
Exactly.
We have bigger fish to
Fish to
fry
fry.
still.
We
Yeah,
got to keep laying foundations. That's the problem.
yeah. We got to bring back foundation, morality, and all of those things,
Mm-hmm.
and speak the truth. You see, we're speaking the truth, no matter in what land that you're in.
Mm-hmm.
You should be able to resolve all problems.
Exactly.
These priests should have enough knowledge to do so. Remember, es que eso está en el Caracol, eso está en Ifá. They'll push you to those lands. You see what I'm saying? They have it in Oldham written. They'll tell you, look, you have to go to Palo. But that's for specific reasons. You see, to
Right.
resolve specific problems. Obviously, in Isheshe, you get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And Isheshe, they can't tell you go to Palo or any of those groves or any of that if you're born in a secluded tribe somewhere out there in one of those groves. They're not gonna tell you go
Mm-hmm.
get initiated in Palo.
Mm-hmm.
It's not in their old rooms. So you see, these type of conversations, we have to really understand the diaspora and what happened and how things are functioning
Mm-hmm.
within how things have evolved and
Right.
why things are all put in is somewhat people talk about sancocho,
Yeah.
but if we're gonna be honest, our ancestors, and saying this to I'm not saying this to speak bad about what our ancestors did within Cuba, but they did that. They laid the foundation and they put everything within the lands, specifically within Ifa. But that's only Afro-Cuban Ifa, Lukumi. That's not in Ishesha. This is for people to kind of understand. There's the Oduns, yeah, they carry information from Ishesha and certain things, certain Oduns and stuff like that, like the stories, but other stuff is Afro-Cuban. You cannot find that in their groves. And even within those groves, the information changes.
Mm-hmm.
So, in other words, they did kind of a sancocho, in other
Mm-hmm.
words,
Right.
didn't they? But a
Right.
sancocho with boundaries, with
Yeah.
respect to boundaries of priesthoods.
They kept it between that land.
Yeah,
It,
between
it,
that land.
it didn't start coming out of that land until people started leaving, and then sharing with other lands.
So you see, that's what I'm saying. In Cuba, it is part of a culture. Here in the States, it is not like that. It is common for a Babalao in Cuba to tell a um a patient or somebody, look, you need to go see a palero. Not because he can't resolve the problem, because he has to resolve it in a specific way, right? When it comes to spirituality, and these are tratados or treaties, like Tata and all of our where we're descending from, right? Of the Afro-Cuban culture, how things came to be. But there's boundaries and there's respect. There's people who say, "Oh, Babalao can't tell you if you should get initiated or not." And I agree and I disagree. An Afro-Cuban Babalao can tell you, be careful going to Palo. Don't go down that route. Why do I say that? The reason why I say that is because within the Oduns themselves, maybe you go down that path, you found this priest don't know what he's doing, and they tafa, he enslaves you and everything goes bad in that land for you. Odumila dictating that, man. That does not mean that if I can tell you you need to get initiated or you can't get initiated. No, we're not talking about. We're talking about being careful. Same thing as us in Palo. I've done it. I have done it. There's people who come to me. I know. I don't need no divination. I know by the mentality, just speaking to the person. But you need to go to La Ocha. This type of work here, this Palo stuff, is not for you, man. It's too strong. This too indigenous or rustic or primitive, which I don't want to use that word primitive because most of the time they look at it as a negative
Connotation.
context, yeah,
Yeah,
connotation.
yeah,
But
but that
it's a different style.
yeah, it's a different style. That's it. Even though it has evolved, it's not that we would say primitive anymore, but it just has been a little bit more modernized, which to me is great because who lives in here in the Americas, who's living with no electricity and water and none of that. In America, it's very hard to find a place like that. They got country, they got land, but they got all the facilities and the things they need. Not like in those lands. And now another thing before you keep on talking, Tata. Um, See, we speaking about Palo, right? And we have to understand, and I know a lot of us know that the Congos, the Kikongo, the Yoruba, the Igbo, the Zulu, a lot of these people they were brought over here to the United States as slaves. If you notice, in other lands, other traditions came about with those people. That's how we get the kimbanda, umbanda, from Brazil, and you get certain other type of traditions that they are based from African descendants, right? Just like what happened in Cuba, but it's not
Hmm.
Ocha, it's not Palo, it's something else. Even in the Americas, the Congos came here, something else was developed. Louisiana, something else was
Hmm.
developed. What has to do with the voodoo and certain things.
Yeah,
So
hoodoo and all of that stuff.
yeah, so it's like these things are just culture. Palo for us is since it happened and it was composed, in other words, in Cuba. All these people and these mixture of things, it just happened to be this what it is. What we call in Kisimalongo. You know, but if you go to other lands, you're gonna see people practicing another tradition that does have African roots also. You understand? But it's in a different style, a different way. But they practice it and it does work and it works for them. You know,
And
they
it uses the same concepts too. Same concepts, is different language,
exactly
different culture.
right.
So that's what I'm saying. When we're in the top tiers of the priesthoods within any land, you should be able to resolve any problem. Lower
Really,
levels, you see what I'm saying? Lower levels of it, which that's what I'm trying to explain. Sometimes I speak to people that I understand that they're searching for that higher level stuff within a land. Other people don't search for that. Like if somebody comes to me and tells me, "Look, I want to get initiated into Palo so I can go get crowned in Ocha," perfectly fine. Our expectation management:
Mm-hmm.
go get initiated into Palo and go into La Ocha. Go be an Oba. Perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Some people, have their keys. They get crowned and they worked also La Ocha. One thing is, to get crowned. Another thing is to work it.
Mm-hmm.
Those are two different things. You see, we have to differentiate that. One thing
Mm-hmm.
is to receive it in Kisi for to use it for yourself, and then use it for the public to initiate people. All this stuff is different.
Mm-hmm.
So you really have to you have to do your research and see what do you want to do.
Yeah,
That's what
you
I'm trying
got
to explain. What do you want to do?
you got to define what you want.
And that's all that I'm saying. I was lucky within Palo, and I went straight through it. And I'm gonna keep going. I'm still learning a bunch of things because you don't know it all. There's so much stuff within this land that is too deep, too many things.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that's what I'm saying. I could choose to go to La Ocha, but not. I can't do that anymore due to the relationship that I have with my Mfumbe. You see, if I really want to go into La Ocha, I can't do that anymore to the levels that I'm at. The relationship that I have built with my Mfumba. That does not mean that it's the same for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
That does not mean that. Some people can jump over. And
Right.
that Mfumba might not care. They might tell you, yeah, that's fine. And you
Mm-hmm.
might run the room from that Mfumba to La Ocha. Eso no sancocho. You
Mm-hmm.
see what I'm saying? That you actually in Kishi what you should do, whatever you tell you, oh, man, you gotta go to the other land and go do what you have to do over there. Go take care of your orishas, man. And you do it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same thing with an E5. E5 tells you, oh, you gotta go do stuff with Impalo, you gotta go use this or do this, you gotta go do that. So divination is very important, all of these things, but I'm referring to my experience. I'm saying, look, I went in too deep too fast. I'm already in this type of ocean. I'm in
Mm-hmm.
the, let's say, uh the Pacific Ocean. I'm
Mm-hmm.
too deep. I can't go swim in the Atlantic Ocean now. I'm still exploring over here.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? I can't go just get on a boat and go over there now. I still have
Yeah.
to keep finding things because I found treasure,
Right.
and a bunch of things down here. You see what I'm saying?
Right. It's
Um,
still treasure hunting.
yeah, I'm still treasure hunting. There's too much. If I go to Atlantic Ocean, maybe I'm gonna find treasure there too. But might as well pick up the ones that I'm already in and over here.
Mm-hmm.
That's what all I'm trying to say to get well defined um within it. Now there's very few that can practice all three and they know what they talking about, That you're
Mm-hmm.
gonna come across them. Then most of the times when they get older, when they are older,
Those are minds. Those are great minds.
those are great minds, right? Those are great
Hmm.
minds, and they're gonna tell you, I still love my Palo, man. I still love that Palo. At Peritimo, everybody practice. Anybody can practice Peritimo, or try to develop these things, which is perfectly fine.
And some people even say that Espiritismo, you don't develop it. Espiritismo, you're born with it. Mediumship, you have the capability, everyone has the capability to be a medium. A lot of people say, well, this is what I've heard. The Espiritismo, you're born with it, you have born with. That's a gift born, not inherit or studied, which people have studied it and practice it. I'm not saying that. But when you talk to an espiritista, they've been doing this since a child and they have this gift, it's unbelievable.
Which is true. I believe in that. Some people are born with these gifts since they're 2 years old. They're already telling people stuff, seeing auras and all of that stuff. Other people have to develop it. You see, I'm not a born medium or any of that stuff, or like born spiritualist. I'm not like that.
Hmm.
I have evolved little by little, day in, day out, day in and day out, day in and day out, all these years. And the older that you get, the stronger it gets. It's like a muscle.
Hmm.
So, these things, you can't rush processes. You can't do any of those type of things. And you really got to look at your life,
Exactly.
because I'm gonna say it again. Here goes the egotism. People see these traditions. They see like to leave a legacy. Yeah, Tata Gaitan, Apito Piloto, Adechina, all these elders. Remember, we still speak about them because it hasn't even been like it's been like 400 years, 500 years. This hasn't been long. I don't even think it's been that. Like the
Mm-hmm.
slave trade is not that long away. It's like probably like 300, 400 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
It's still too close, three generations down. Which that's the whole point to make sure that we keep our tradition
Alive.
alive and all of that. But who knows the first king of Egypt?
Mm-hmm.
Who cares to know that stuff and how those things came to be? Everything rises like the sun and sets just like the sun. So for us to truly leave a legacy, don't do it for that. Don't do it for that. Don't try to leave legacy or anything. I say it's better just to touch people's lives more for you and for others to touch people's lives. For example, like Jeff Bezos, the Amazon guy. Yeah, one of the richest persons in the whole world. Sooner or later, through time, that's going to end. 200 years, 300 years, 400 years from now, finally, sometime, he's not going to be here no more. Just the people's lives that he touched and affected, that's what mattered at those moments. But in history, who gives a damn? Like, I don't
Exactly.
give a damn. That's what I'm trying to explain.
Saint Google says 1887.
So 18, we say we say 1900s to we look at around 300 years. Let's just sum it up. 300
Mm-hmm.
years. See, it's not too far away. So these names of these elders, and obviously that was the slave trade. So obviously Palo really got its structure after the slave trade and all that stuff. Start getting good structure, and it's still evolving. Palo is still evolving. Laocha is still evolving. Ifa is still evolving. It's going to continue to do so. And that's the whole rigid fight that we're having between tradition and how things keep evolving. Um, which that's Ishesha stuff, right? Ishesha is definitely that thing is a lot of diversity within those lands of how they cast Oduns and how they do their things. With an Afro-Cuban, our Lukumi traditions and Paul and all this stuff. We're not too far away, so we keep things a little bit more rigid, but it's gonna keep evolving. And I keep saying it, mine Kisis, the way they're built is 100 times better than when they were building them in the 1800s. I am telling you that. I'm not being, and most priests that I know build them like that too. The tools and the stuff that those pots have, they did not have that in the 1800s. I am telling you that. And those Mfumbas and all that did not have that knowledge either.
Mm-hmm.
They don't even know what a cell phone is. They don't know none of these type of things. The law changed, everything evolved. The religion must evolve. The concepts must stay the same. Concepts has to stay the same because those are the natural laws of how things are functioning. But everything else keeps evolving. And that's why there's so many debates and problems like this homosexuality with Palo. Within our lineage, it hasn't evolved. And it depends how strong it's gonna be. I haven't
Mm-hmm.
maybe my got kids, maybe. But there's other houses, other lands that do it. I applaud it because I stand for it. I'm all for that. Um, and Ifa obviously they can't do that either. Maybe it evolves. There's gonna be somebody that does it sooner or later, and it's gonna evolve. And La Ocha is gonna evolve sooner or later. The same way we have kind of, let's say, accepted or given the respect to homosexuality. Respect. Not we giving them a hand. Don't take the whole arm now. We only extend it to what we can reach.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's another thing that's going on. But things are evolving. Same thing with racism. All of this stuff is because you're so close to it still that people
Mm-hmm.
think
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
And it hurts them, they suffered. Well, I need to tell a man that he's in his 70s not to be mad at a white man when he's seen his father and all of that be oppressed by them, his ancestors. Obviously, we're too
Mm-hmm.
goddamn close.
Yeah.
But back in those days, you would never see an African American or somebody who was darker skin color with a white woman. That was taboo. They'll hang you.
Yeah.
You
Even
see that? You
and,
see that very common now.
and it's crazy because people don't know that even in our own countries that was a problem.
That was a
ha-
big problem.
has a Puerto Rican in Puerto Rico.
Hmm.
Parents that were dark skinned, or let's say black, which there's no such thing as black, but the color. People are not black, but anyway, with the word terminology black, will not associate with light skinned Puerto Ricans because we were the slave owners, children of the slave owners. That's how they looked at us. I'm saying not me. I'm saying our ancestors.
Exactly. So it's so close to us that, we give it that value. But, we should be people that we shouldn't be seeing color anymore, more conscious, right? More
Right,
conscious. We shouldn't be seeing color. We shouldn't be seeing sexuality anymore, any of that. There should be boundaries of respect and seeing morality and culture. That's it. You know, at the end of in my that's my opinion. That's the way I
right.
practice. I have African American God kids. I have Afro Caribbean God kids. I have no issue with that, and I teach them more because you know the language barriers and all of that stuff. Are there problems within those communities? Yes, Hispanic community. We all have problems, and us as elders have to come together and change it for the new descendants.
Hmm.
We got to be honest with one another.
Hmm.
You see the crack epidemics, all that stuff affected my father, affected all of these things.
Of
I did,
course.
I made the right decisions to stop that.
Hmm.
So it doesn't try to hit my kids.
Doesn't continue on.
It doesn't continue on. So the same way we're doing it within the living, it's the same thing within these traditions. We have to really sit down as elders within our individual lineages. Forget about the total sum,
Hmm.
because there's always gonna be bad apples. There's always gonna be bad apples, and we let the bad apples be bad. We're
Hmm.
worried about your house, your descendants, your god kids, your nucleus, your circle. Make sure that the morality and the change is there for positivity. And I stand for the African American community
Hmm.
because there's a lot of gatekeeping going on within all of these traditions, not
Yep.
being able to speak Spanish. Trust me, I stand for them.
Hmm.
Um, that's why we do these videos, because I can do them in Spanish. I can
Yeah,
sit here
me.
speak
Yeah,
Spanish all day.
me
I get
too.
a million one more views because there's
Hmm.
a bigger community
Right.
in
And these
Spanish. Don't we know
traditions.
that? And
Yeah.
for these traditions and this
Hmm.
type of knowledge, you know how many people contact me trying to get my books and speak to me in Spanish and all of that, and get initiated and all of that. I tend not to do. I'd rather get people who speak English. People, all of these things in English. There's more enough
Yeah.
priests doing that in
In
Spanish.
Spanish.
Some
Yeah.
some of them are gatekeeping. Some of them are not. That's
Not
just them.
right. Yeah. Exactly.
And then we have great priests, great elders, that have written books and stuff like that. Like El Primo with that Oba
Yeah.
wrote,
Yeah. A glass
uh,
of water and a candle.
and a candle. That's a great book there for them to read. Been a Cuban, this shit, all of these things. You see that people who speak English
Hmm.
and are diving into these traditions and have lived it for years
Hmm.
are doing their part, giving up information to the newcomers, to new
Hmm.
initiates.
Hmm. People searching, people looking. That's what it's all about. I mean, that's the reason why. I think if we have more people that practice the traditions and will speak and orientate people or try to give them something to at least try to guide them, I think it will be way better. There will be more accessibility. It will be more access for more English people to be able to really look for information, and dive more deep into it. Because I spoke to a gentleman, I think it was yesterday. Well, they actually speaks text me, and he said he's been on YouTube for many years, looking at all different type of spiritualities, and he practiced and dabs and dibbles and stuff, and he has learned a lot. So I think if we would have more people that would do these type of videos for the English community, it'll be beneficial for them. You understand? Just to try to put at least a little mustard seed in the pot, and help out.
Exactly. And when we sit here, and we think about it, so we're looking at the 2000s. Let's say like in 2055, 2065, 2065. 2045, 2050. And he's looking like, I don't know.
Yeah,
That's a long time from now.
I'll be talking to you from the other side.
You'll be talking to me from the other side, Tata Zongo. But think about this. You think that I might experience Apollo? I go to Apollo house and the music is in English. They're singing to Nsasi in English slash Kikongo. You know, they put it up on YouTube, and next thing you know, you know, a bunch of sancocho stuff will be said. And then understanding that the tradition is bound to evolve. Things evolved. How everything keeps evolving.
Exactly.
Yes, we got to keep the root. I always say the concepts. As long as we keep concepts and morality, we'll be fine. Everything else can evolve, in my opinion.
Hmm.
Um, the language, if they want to speak, how many priests don't speak to their Nkisis in English?
I'm
Now
bilingual.
here,
I'm bilingual. I speak both in both.
I speak both to them too. I speak to my certain Fumbas I have there. I speak to them in Spanish. The ones that spoke English, I speak to them in English. In reality, they speak any language,
They
but
speak any language. Yeah.
they speak any language. But I rather have a conversation in their language so I have a little bit more connection with them.
Hmm.
You see what I'm saying? To have more connection with them. But then rather they speak any language. Idea can be transmitted through any wave. Um, but that's the truth. How many priests don't speak to their Nkisis in English? Maybe back in the day, people say no, the Fumba don't agree. You can't you see these things. So if he can understand the English, he can hear the songs in English too. But I
Exactly.
don't think nowadays that's gonna happen. Not now. They still. I'm pretty sure 10 years, 15 years from now,
Hmm.
while this older generation ends up depleting a little bit, things evolve into those type of affairs. Which they might be asking me then. 'Cause I might have 30 years in, 40 years in. I'm like, hey, that's none of my problem. That's what they doing. I care about the effects.
Right. Send me some of that
Yeah.
music. Let me hear it.
Yeah, let me hear the music. Let me see what he's saying. You
Right.
know, at the end of the day, because this stuff keeps evolving, man.
Yeah. It has
The
to
same,
evolve.
and it will with us or without us. We're the ones steering it though, with our decisions and the knowledge and how we're practicing, who we're leaving behind us. Every single of these engayos and wannabe tatas and priests and all of that, we're only here for a short period of time. We're not going to be here forever.
Exactly.
Somebody's going to take our place. Same thing in your job. Somebody's going to take that place. You see your house where you live, somebody's going to take that place. The car that you have, somebody's going to take that. Everything that you see, somebody's going to take it sooner or later. Either unless you leave it for your descendants, but they took it.
Right. Or they replaced you.
So we really have to understand and let go of the egos and think that you're eternal. 'Cause we're not eternal in this way.
Hmm.
Um, and what we're doing for the ones who are going to take our place sooner or later. Sooner or later they will.
Yeah.
And we spoke about many things with the Mfumba, many stuff. If you want to open up the floor,
Yeah. We go over to the floor. If anybody has questions, I seen a couple of questions which you read a couple during the talk.
yeah, look through them and
But
pull them up to see that.
anyone, let's see. It's time. If you guys want to ask questions, you might as well start now. Thank you very much. Yeah, we love you guys too. All you guys who have attended here and will attend later on when when they watch the video, because I know we make long videos, so they got to take a pause here now and then to watch it. Searching Muerto has been by my side and mount the table naturally. I don't understand that clearly. You might have to ask that again. Let me see. This one's a big one. Have you both come across the muerto coming to the way stopping of someone making santo because you haven't gave the muerto a place in your life? It's a question. Came across muerto coming in the way stopping of one. Oh, I have heard of this situation. What they're trying to ask is when they're about to make, let's say they're gonna get crown santo, they get stopped because they got to get scratched first before they come into santo.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's part of the treaties, part of the agreements. They had to go to the land of Palo, get initiated, take off to the land. Perfectly fine. Can things be done in Palo that can't be done in Ocha, Ifa, vice versa? Once again, that's a great question. But once again, user not found. Once again, it's the levels of the priest. What level of the priest in Ifa, Ocha, and Palo? Because if the Palo priest don't know what he's doing, Ifa and that Palo that Babalao knows what he's doing, he cannot do the Palero easily. Not the tradition, it's the practitioner. And what level is he in? You see what I'm saying? What level is he in? Same thing with La Ocha. What level are they in? The traditions can't do one another. You know how they say, oh, Apollo's faster, this, that. Once again, you're underestimating Ifa and you're underestimating La Ocha.
Mm-hmm.
You have not gone to Cuba and walked inside of an Ocha room and said, this thing feels like a Apollo room.
Mm-hmm.
You have not seen the feed months that they put on the ground just like ours. You underestimating those traditions. Yes, Paulo's powerful, but same as La Ocha, same as Ifa. Just
Mm-hmm.
because you see them with the little hats, waving around their thing, saying proverbs and all of this stuff, does not mean that they don't know how to get down in medicine. We're talking about real Babalaos. We're not talking about somebody that's around the corner. No, no, we're talking about somebody who has dedicated themselves to their practice. You see, any whichever tradition it is, it all falls on the level of the priesthoods. We're gonna get to spiritual warfare or resolving problems. The Babalao don't know what he's doing. He can't take away this Mfumbe, or let's say Egon Buruku, a malicious muerto curo, a bad spirit. He don't know what he's doing. He don't know. He gonna send you to a palero, man. You need to go to this palero, man. You see what I'm saying? Because he don't know what he's doing. Same
Mm-hmm.
thing as an Osainita, same thing with La Ocha. They know what they're doing. There's priests. There's many of them. There's a lot of them that are not online. You see what I'm saying? That they don't have time for this. All they do is work the traditions. They have other responsibilities. But there's people out here that know. I've spoken to many of them. I've spoken to many balaos that know what they're doing. I've spoken to many obases that know what they're doing, that have dedicated their lives to, that have been to Cuba, have done this, have done that, studied the cowrie shells, know what they're doing. And you
Yep.
better be careful. They got Ogun, their Oguns are well built, their stuff are well done. They know what they're doing. So, and they can outdo a Palero on the instinct too. Can Palo work with other traditions? Yes, they can, hand in hand.
Mm-hmm.
You can do for good and for bad. You can use Asojuano here for this health aspect. Hey, yo, let me use Lucero for this other aspect in this person's life, and use both of them. Or you use a priest in this aspect or this other one. But priests do that. Certain priests are working La Ocha and Palo at the same time to affect processes in their life, which that's perfectly fine. That's the point that they have Orishas and Inkisis. All that stuff is fine. Now the thing is, if you have the Orisha and you can't use it because you don't have enough knowledge, that's what I'm getting to. Does Paulo have an equivalent of a max behavior? He has a very well-known voodoo priest who was kind of the spokesperson slash senator of voodoo.
Almost say I think what they're asking is
Oh,
does
like
Paulo got somebody, that's very known and great in the Paulo community? We have many, but
yeah, we have
not
a
just
bunch of
one.
them. We don't have one. Yeah, we have so many great priests I've spoken to that you have no clue. Listen to me. There's so many great priests that outdo me in a century. They've seen this over 30, 40 years. They're seeing the tradition evolve completely
Mm-hmm.
online and all of this didn't exist online.
Mm-hmm.
This was kept underground and in secret.
Yep.
That they fought up against the government too, took it up to the Senate, the Supreme Court. All of these priests, all this stuff was happening before I was even born. That
Yep.
they're well known. They're still alive. Many of them are still alive.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is you have to be involved in the culture and around that to find those lotus flowers. 'Cause that's what they are. They're lotus flowers.
Mm-hmm.
specifically in Palo, there's a lot of mud, a lot of muck, a lot of lily pads. But there's a few that are lotus flower. There's quite a few that are lotus flowers, man. I'm telling you. How is your muerto assigned to you? This is a delicate conversation. This, from
Muerto
my
is signed to
understanding,
you.
right? This goes into the practice. You and your godfather or your godmother will end up finding un muerto. You see what I'm saying? Getting a muerto.
Yep.
And then they will materialize that muerto is, and that's your enfumbe.
And you make a treaty with it, and you make some type of agreements, and so forth and so on, and that'll be your infumbe. Everything has to be checked and verified very
And
well,
verified. Very well, yeah. And what I'm
and
saying by your muerto,
ceremonies have to be done well within yourself and the muerto and your godparents. It's a little complicated.
yeah, because every house might have different, there's a bunch of different ways you can get a muerto. You can
Hmm.
buy them offline, you can do a bunch of things, right? There's different treaties, different ways. All in Palo is very let's say it's very moldable. It's very, you can choose to do many avenues.
Hmm.
Actual bones, ashes, there's a bunch of things, a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
So you
They
see,
get,
how is it assigned to you? They divine for it. That's the right answer,
right.
right? They
Hmm.
divine for it. The Mfumbe agrees, you agree, godparents agrees, your godparents and Mfumbe agrees. Everybody's in agreement. Good to
Yep.
go. Keep it going.
Exactly. Unknown or known, meaning
Yeah, unknown or
unknown
known.
or known.
Exactly.
Anyone else has another question? I think I think
Muertos.
I think nobody got questions. Last line, nobody had questions either. Yeah, everybody's
Yeah,
like,
but we can go up and see what's going on.
no hay más preguntas.
Yeah, these. We just did this live, to speak
Let's
about the dead.
before we break out, let's talk about the books that you have available. Talk about the ones that are coming out. I know you got another one that's coming out. Well, it's two of them, but one is coming out pretty soon. Just a little bit. You don't want to give too
Yeah,
much
so
away.
I don't have the books here. So I have Conversations with the Dead, The Scrolls of Time. These are all divination, binary codes of Makisi Malamu, three divination books. And then I have Through the Eyes of a Spirit, Through the Eyes of a Priest. Anybody can read those books. That's gonna give you more in-depth understanding of how things are functioning.
Hmm.
And then I have The Art of Spiritual Warfare. It's for the people who truly want to understand warfare or spiritual warfare, how things are functioning. This is like for priesthood level, but if they buy it, they buy it. That's their situation, to know what's going on, how things function, and what to do and not to do, and how to run a room and things like that when these conversations are had. And then the other one is that one's soon to come out with the Padibemba book, which is um spiritual signs and symbols of Nkisi Malongo. Got both of those books coming out. And that one teaches about La Figmas, Padibembas, and all of that stuff.
All right, I want to give you this.
Um, at the end, those these are the books I published this mostly for priests to get found. I like to teach the priests. How can paleros work with doctors? If the palero's a doctor or knows about anatomy, you see, he's gonna be more specialized within um that aspect, those processes, those anatomy, biology, stuff like that, within specifically anatomy. He knows the medical field. He knows about medicine, prescriptions, all of these things. So when you're gonna go get a surgery, what's going on with you, he knows somewhat the process, how things are gonna function.
All
You
right.
what you're gonna do is get a surgery or all of that. He can work with a doctor,
Mm-hmm.
alongside with a doctor. If he is a doctor, it helps him out even better.
Exactly.
If somebody comes with diabetes, you know what the person has to do,
Mm-hmm.
right? Lose their weight, make sure you what you're consuming, your healthy habits, all of that stuff, and then the medicine that you can do in the room to help
Mm-hmm.
out the pancreas,
Yeah,
you
without they
know.
having to go into actual surgery.
Whether them having to go to a surgery or get worse within their diabetes, have a type 2, type 1 diabetes and stuff like that, make things worse. Or have somebody to cut their foot off or something like that
Right.
because blood sugars are going crazy.
How you doing,
Why can't
Lola? Pleasure, pleasure, blessings to you, Lola. Yeah, why get immortal and not just stick to your ancestors? Um, that's how could we go into, because see, ancestor veneration is one thing, and having it in Kisi with an Mfumbe is something else. You understand? There are limitations of some sort dealing with ancestors, just dealing with ancestors. You understand? They are not materialized in a way that we materialize in Fumbe. I hope that that answers your question.
I can add on into that? We are venerating the ancestors,
Mm-hmm.
whether they're known or not known.
Mm-hmm.
That's a question for them. Do you know your great 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 granddaddy? Are you gonna venerate him? This is causes for initiated people. He's probably not even in the realm anymore.
Right. Probably not
You
even
see,
here.
he's probably long gone, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm trying to explain. We say that ancestors are only bloodline.
No.
That's the Western for me. For me, basically, you guys can choose whatever you guys want to say, but I understand that that's a Western
Right.
ideology because
Exactly.
we do not live in a tribe.
Exactly.
We don't live in tribes. But if we lived in a tribe, everybody from that tribe is your ancestor.
Mm-hmm.
They affect your life and the life of their descendants. Martin Luther, I'm gonna say it again. I always say the same thing. Martin Luther King Jr. was my ancestor.
Yep.
You see that Rosa Parks was my ancestors. George Washington was my ancestor.
Mm-hmm.
All
No,
of these people
you don't
were
gotta like them.
ancestors of mine.
You don't gotta
You don't
like
gotta
them.
like you don't gotta like them, but they're my ancestors.
Exactly.
Why I say that they're my ancestors is due to the fact that they change things within this history of this country that I'm a part of. They did that. They fought for human rights, and they're gonna affect me and my grandkids. They have affected me and my grandkids, por ahí para allá abajo.
Mm-hmm.
They did that. Not just because they're your blood does not mean they're your ancestors. You can come into the world and never meet your father.
Mm-hmm.
Never meet your father. You had a stepfather.
Right here, like me, and I still
And
reverence my father. Well, I know his name, but I never met him in my life, and he
never
never
met him.
met
So
me.
you see, so think about it. Who's gonna be more helpful to you as an ancestor? Your best
My,
friend who you knew or your father?
my muerto,
Right? You're in Fumba, right?
my nganga.
Had nothing to do with no goddamn blood.
Right.
So you see, you were associating blood with relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, it has to do with the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
There's people who are born in this realm that their mothers and fathers or siblings don't care about them, don't even want to see them. And when they die, they don't want to take care of them either. They're not going to fight for you and they don't care for you. You might have another best friend or you got adopted or whatever. Those people take care of you even better. And when you pass, they still stay looking for you and taking care of you. That's an
Exactly.
ancestor. That's an
Mm-hmm.
ancestor. They're all ancestors at the end of the day, but
Right.
that's an actual ancestor, even though
Right.
that's not your blood.
Right.
And that these are the things that we're talking about.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? These are the kind of conversations that we're trying to understand within higher levels of understanding.
Yep. At the end of
You
the day,
know,
we are all ghost. No color, no language.
no language, none of that. We're just
Ghost.
ancestors. But what I'm referring is to that. The Mfumba that I have inside my Nkizis are my ancestors.
Mm-hmm.
All of them that are there. All my Mfumbas that are there, all the spirits I have there, they're all ancestors of mine. Whether blood relatives or not.
Not. We're
They watch out
connected.
for me and they teach me and they are watching after me.
At the end of the day, we are all interconnected.
You see, and that's why, because people are missing concept, Andy.
I
They're
know.
missing these concepts. They say, what did you
First,
mean by
first
your
of all,
Enga?
first of all, I like the last name. I like the last name because the first name yeah, and the last name, is that truly your last name?
Ah! Yeah, we know
you
who
know,
that is.
yeah.
What
What do
did
you
you mean?
mean by your? And that was in the last video, in the previous one. What did you mean by your enganga cannot walk if you don't have your lucero? Said in the last live. Now remember before you go, Remember, there are some Inquisis are built with Lucero inside.
That's what I'm saying. So it depends on the treaties. Within our treaties, you need your Lucero and Cuyo. That thing's involved in all affairs. But some people build it already in there, right? With the flowing rituals and stuff like that. And on Fondo Ganata, they have their Luceros in there, so they don't need that.
Hmm. It's already there.
But you do need something that can, let's say, look at the avenues, negotiate code.
Exactly.
Um, it says, I lost my Munanso. How can I still learn Palo from other Munansos? That's tough. So you see, it depends on what level that you lose your Munanso. If you were a priest, different conversation that if you are going to become boy suelto, with no godfather, no Nkisi or any of that. Two different standpoints.
Yeah, and
If
we
you're a
have to
priest, you should be fine.
you have to verify also. You will have to when if you ever get to speak with somebody else, right? If you're looking for another Monanzo, somebody to give you, like they say, shadow, or take you into the Monanzo and give you, let's say, biogenetic robe or whatever it may be. Um, you have to come with true honesty and um, and analyze what was it and how was it that you lost your Monanzo. What was the purpose? There could be many. It could be you. It could be the elder. It could be a lot of things. So you gotta be very careful if you do search for someone else, and let that other elder, whether male or female, know what happened, what was the situation, because you have to understand that losing your munanso to me means many things, because I have lost quite a few myself. So it could mean many things. Just be careful
Yeah,
and do your homework.
yeah. Just find somebody near you. If you don't have Nkisi, find somebody near you and get into their houses. They accept you and start learning and learn from that linai. Do what you have to do there. Can I get scratched again? It all
It all
depends.
depends. Yeah.
It all depends on divination and what they say.
Right. It all depends, because if you're an Engayo and it gives license for you to get scratched into a Tatankisi, you could get initiated into Tatankisi.
In
If
a
you're
different lineage.
Tatankisi, right, in a different, if you're in Tatankisi and you want to get initiated into Tatanganga in a different lineage, you might have to also go through that too. It all depends what lineage you
So,
go to.
so these are the levels that we're talking about. You see it? How does Paulo deal worth working through generational trauma and healing that trauma? Well, so that's kind of like in my situation. That's kind of like what has happened with me. Look, my great grandmother had a bunch of kids. This is back in the day. She got divorced with my grandfather, the Spaniard. He went back to Spain. She had to raise the kids by herself. My grandmother got divorced also, got another husband. My mom
Hmm.
got divorced also, had a different partner. And now here I am. You see that? That's generational of instability within the homes. That's something that, within Palo, I don't do love work or any of that for myself or any of that because that makes your prestige goes down. If you're a man, you shouldn't want a woman to stay with you. What happens, happens. But at least everything that I try to do within my relationship, within my life towards my kids, I try to give them the best that I can for them not to experience or keep on that generational trauma and curse
Change that
chain.
generational trauma. Exactly. That's what
You
I
see,
chose to do also.
same thing with, let's say, drugs. My real father, he was or he still is. I don't know. I don't know where he's at. I don't know. Uh, Crack addict, cocaine addict, and all that. Drug addict.
Hmm.
He lost his family, lost his wife, lost all that stuff, his kids and everything. If I would have decided to do the same and be a bum like him, I would have continued on that trauma. So you see, at least my godfather, the foot, all these things. You see, my godfather, people, not just my Nkisi. I had people who spoke to me and let me understand, that our parents. Make decision. Take the good qualities from them and take the bad ones and learn from them. I learned from my father. And obviously, when I was younger, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, "Oh, Matamba's an angel." No, 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 no. I've been my high school years and after high school and all of that. I've been around
Mm-hmm.
here and there, and I've seen
Yeah.
people doing drugs, and they offer me and all of that. I said, "Nah,
Yeah.
bro, I don't do that. I'll stick to smoking my black and mild or my cigarettes or whatever." At those times, I don't smoke anymore, any of that, because I knew if I did that, I was gonna end up like my father. See, I was very conscious. I was at least conscious to those decisions. And those are leaders and followers. And when people are growing in life and whatever stage that they're in, you have to understand where they leaders and followers, because we're people who we get affected by our surroundings, our environment. And that's very true. All of us get affected by our surroundings and the type of people that we are. And we choose peer pressure and all of those type of things. So if you got trauma and you can identify it, and you can change it. If you can't identify it, it's because you're sucked in too much into it already. You're still not woke. How they say, woke,
Mm-hmm.
awakened.
And awaken.
If you can identify trauma, then you should be able to heal it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not easy.
Proud.
Nobody's saying this is a cakewalk. It's just not
Mm-hmm.
easy.
Yeah.
But you can change for the better.
Yep.
And your Inkizis can help you, affect processes, take people out your life, and all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
So what happens when the Tata is bisexual?
I could sit down here and talk to you guys about trauma for hours, a whole life story, and you guys would be like, "God damn!"
Yeah,
And
you
maybe
hear
you
Andy.
guys,
Andy's
yeah,
life.
and maybe you guys have had maybe even worse or worse. But I have a lot to say if I wanted to. But yeah, so this is what happened when the Tata is bisexual. So what happens when the Tata is bisexual? I
Yeah,
guess
child of
nothing.
Eden.
That's
Yeah.
their problem. That's their lifestyle. Um, it's all depends on you really going into a house and being willing to accept that your godfather is bisexual and you don't have a problem with it. You understand? That's to each his own. That's to each hama or house or Enzo, the way they run their things and do. I mean, if you knew and you was okay with it, then you shouldn't have a problem. There's no disrespect, no nothing like that. He treats you the way he should be
Yeah.
treated. It shouldn't be a problem.
Now I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say it again. Palo is evolving. That right there in the past,
Hmm.
they're gonna speak bad, and probably nowadays they're still gonna speak badly. They're gonna be like, "Oh
Hmm.
no, that guy ain't no palero. He's gay. This, that." They're gonna say all of that. I
Right,
don't take that standpoint.
right.
Child of the Egun. I don't take that standpoint. All I say is, for me, I have to witness it. See what I'm saying? I have to be at his house. If I go in there and I feel like there's a fumba in the house, his medicine is strong. He does effects. He does this, does that.
Has
Does things
morality.
correctly. Got morality. He's what I mean by morality. He's not sleeping with god kids. None of this crazy stuff.
Yeah,
And he's a good person. I don't
yeah.
know. He's
What
a
he does on his time with his spouse or whatever, that's what he does, or
That's what
she.
he does. You see what I'm
Uh,
saying? Now within our lineage, that doesn't happen.
yeah, we
But
don't.
maybe that lineage allows those things. And who
Hmm.
am I to tell that that's wrong? That's not my business, man. You do what you want.
Hmm.
Now, if it's not our lineage, I'm gonna tell them your days are counted. That's what I'm gonna tell them. Hopefully, they have
Hmm.
mercy on you. Hopefully, nothing bad happens to you. But your days are
Yeah.
counted, man. That's part of the tratado, the
Right,
treaties.
the treaties. It doesn't have anything to do because the person is a person that it's into their own gender of the same sex. It doesn't have anything to do with that. You guys got to remember that there are human treaties, spiritual treaties, and human and spiritual treaties. They are made tratados. Some houses hold these things between just men, just between the living, and they do not accept people who are of this persuasion, but that's them. And then some Hamas and some houses have treaties from back that when they made these treaties with the muerto and with the human being, they were agreed that they were not going to do this. They were not going to tolerate this. Some is male chauvinism, some is just a treaties, things that were made. Now, what Tata was saying earlier that I kind of took him off as his cue. It was that who knows that in the long run, down the line, this is going to change. They're going to be more acceptance of how can I say? I don't want to say gay. Well, let's say they're going to be more accepted of these type of personalities with this same sex persuasion be accepted into these munansos. Down the line, and that's what he was saying. Are they going to still be talking crap and talking junk? Maybe yes. Great possibility. But maybe down the line, this will be more something more acceptable and it'll be more open. But it has to be done and between the living and the dead. It just can't be because you want to do it. That's something you could. Let's say right now you initiate into a rama and you choose to go the other way, right? And go with your same sex.
Yeah. So
Your Hama, your
real
Hama
quick, you
does
see,
not. Go
for
ahead.
him to do that, the divination was wrong. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So the lower levels are there. You see what I'm saying? They're not truly divine. They're not knowing.
Right.
That's what I'm trying to explain. So he's
Exactly.
practicing in a certain aspect. Like for me, somebody comes that's gay to get initiated. I know the Fuma gonna say, "Don't initiate him.
Exactly.
Don't initiate him." I'm like, all right. You see, oh, he's a come to preach trying to get in the kisi. I can't do it. It's gonna come out there.
Right.
But let's say by any chance, some along the line it happened. Let's just say that for some other lineage,
Mm-hmm.
and nothing is happening to them. That's their problem. That's their thing. Not within ours. Within ours is different. And
Mm-hmm.
I understand Child of Egun if he and if he's what you call transsexual and all those. I understand that. Bisexual, that's a different conversation. You like either one or the other. You can't like both.
Yeah, you
You
gotta
have
stop
no the
stop
people who are
being
like
stop
that.
being greedy.
Yeah, you're being greedy, and those that have no morality. That means that you don't care. You're like, me gusta los hombres, me gusta las mujeres. That's
Yeah, yeah,
not like that.
yeah.
Either you like one or the other. And Fumbas would just say, yo, this guy has no morality. Don't even put him in here either. So, we really have to understand these type of things with the Mfumba, and these conversations, these treaties. But once again, I support that is evolving. I just can't do it yet. I already made my treaties long ago when I was a child. And I understood the things that I can and cannot do. The same thing, I'm gonna use the same thing, the homosexual. Look at me. You see that? You see the skin color that I have? Yeah, I got African blood in me. I can show you pictures of my ancestors. Like, look, this is them. Afro Puerto Rican. But mixed blood or mud blood and all of that stuff, how they call them. Wow, y todo eso.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the days in Cuba, taboo. It was taboo to initiate a pale skin in the tradition. Taboo.
Yep.
It has evolved. As long as you're Cuban, they're gonna initiate you. That's how they do it now.
Exactly.
Now that's the gatekeeping that's going on in this community now for these
Right.
traditions,
Right.
specifically in Palo. They gatekeeping the crap out of it. Oh, only Cubans, only the tradition, only holding this. You don't speak Spanish, we gonna hold you. They gonna estafarte, use you for money, and that's what's going on.
Right.
So sooner or later it's gonna evolve. It's gonna keep evolving. Now everybody gets accepted is based on morality and the type of person that you are. Forget the sex. Forget the color, morality. Let's see, and knowledge. Let's see what you got.
Right.
Open your mouth and let's see if you got concepts. If your medicine works, that's what
Mm-hmm.
truly should be mattering.
Yeah.
Because if the guy looks like a zebra, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? He has stripes all over him, and he's half male, half female. I don't care. I want to see if you can resolve this cancer. Can you heal the
Exactly.
cancer? If you
Mm-hmm.
look like a unicorn, I don't care, man. See if you can handle this cancer.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, can you solve it? Oh yeah, he solved it. Hey, can you have this effect? Yeah.
Yeah.
That. Can you work a process? That's all I care. Can
Mm-hmm.
you work this process? Yeah. That's all
So
we're
matters.
looking for.
So matters. Does
So,
Palo have
but
holiday or feast days?
yeah, they do.
They do.
Some houses have them on. They synchronize them with La Ocha or like San Lazaro's Day or Santa Barbara's Day or the birthday of the Inquisi. They do that. Like our lineage, we do it at the end of the year. In December, sometime in December, mostly it's the last week, but we tend to grab it sometime in December. We'll have a feast day for the Inquisis. And that's part of the treaty when we build them. Some houses don't do it like that. Other times it's on a specific birthday or on the day it came out the ground. Everybody does something different,
Yeah, some
which
have
that's perfectly fine.
synchronization, some don't, so that's
Like they'll feed in Sasi on when is Santa Barbara's Day? I think it's in
I don't
November.
remember. I don't
November
remember.
12, I think, or something like that. 21st, something like that. I don't
Uh,
remember. But let's say they have a Coayende, they'll feed it in December 17th. Stuff like that. You know, don't synchronize it with la ocha. Um, which is perfectly fine. That's them. That's how they do things. That has to do something with history, but things have evolved. Things are not like that no more. Same thing with the crucifix. People keep them in kisi for a reason, but that I don't have no crucifix in my kisi. That don't mean it's Houdia or any of that. You see, things
No.
have evolved.
Mm-hmm.
So that's up to the practitioner how things are coming to be. Let's say, can you guys explain the difference between the Hamas and what makes them different from each other? And we can get into that. Here go once again, Andy. Here we go once again.
Ah,
What's the difference? I'm talking about nowadays.
yeah.
Now,
Now. Yeah.
now. What's the difference between Mayombe, Briumba,
Yumba,
let's say
Kimbisa,
Kimbisa, Changani, Brahma con Brahma,
Cristo en
uh,
viaje.
Santo Grito en Viaje, that's part of Kimbisa. What's the difference? The names. I'm just joking around, I'm just joking around. The names, I'm just playing. It's just that they carry history, they carry history within them. But
Mhm,
Biumba has a bunch of subdivisions within it.
mhm,
Kimbisa got a bunch of subdivisions within it.
mhm,
Mayombe got a bunch of subdivisions within it.
mhm,
Um, a Tangani, I don't know, they might have other type of, they sprouted out of these other lineages.
mhm.
Um, La
Chamalonga.
Chamalonga, all these, they came out, out of
Mhm,
different ways of doing things. So you got to really see it like a group, a
mhm,
tribe, um,
mhm,
like kind of like Bantu tribes. You see what I'm saying? Like a bunch
mhm,
of not just tribes. You see it in that way, but they
mhm,
do things very similar, but at the same time very different.
mhm,
Because you see, Ambriumba Mulemba, I do certain things in the room, and maybe you go to Andy's house and he does certain things a little bit different. It's different, even though we're within the same lineage. There's
mhm.
other things that we're gonna do exactly the same. Certain stuff is
We
exactly
do the
the
same.
same. It's not gonna change. So you
Mhm,
see, Mayombe do things somewhat the same as we do things, specifically with concepts. With the concepts, we all work the concept some way, somehow, just in
mhm,
different ways.
mhm,
That's all that it is. So
mhm.
and that's, and I say don't
Oh,
fall victim
the
to all of
stories.
that, to all that story and all of that. Man, if they can't back it up with papers, anthropology, it ain't even gonna make you a better priest. I hear on TikTok all arguing and this. Don't waste your time. Mambe, blah. I know the
Yeah.
story. Mambe, Mambele, Muravanta, the whole thing, the Ngo,
Uh,
sacrifice, all that stuff. We're not gonna, if it happened, didn't happen, it don't make me stronger. You see what I'm saying as a priest.
yeah, it'll make
But
you better.
it don't make you better affecting somebody in a positive way or medicine in general. Whether
Mhm.
you know a story or you don't know it.
Right. Whether you know a canto or you don't know the canto.
Yeah, whether you know the canto, you don't know the canto. Or, you see, like I say this all the time. I say this, but at the same time, it don't matter to me. I say it sometimes. The people who should be saying Mambe are only Briumbas,
Mhm.
according to the story of how things are supposed to be.
Right.
That's the truth.
Right.
Because Malongo yule ngo, Briumba yule Mambe.
Mhm.
Right? The same way nature consumed the tiger or the leopard.
It was
Because
a
there ain't
leopard.
no
Yeah.
there's no tigers in
Yeah,
Africa.
it's a
You
leopard.
see what I'm saying? The
It was a
leopard and go.
leopard. Yeah.
The leopard is the same way nature or Briumba consumed Mambe. So that's from our Rama. We should be the only ones saying Mambe. You
Right.
hear other ones say Sambe and all that stuff. To each his own, bro. But I don't care. That's what I got taught. Is it 100% true?
Yeah.
Maybe that story
Mhm.
is made up.
Right.
Maybe what's going on? So I respect the elders and all that, but if it's not backed up by anthropology or actual history facts,
Mhm.
I'm not gonna dive in and fight somebody and tell them this is not gray or this is not white, it is black. I'm not gonna sit there and fight somebody about what is right, what's wrong. Nah,
Right.
man, that's up to you. You, the practitioner. What matters at the end of the day is you and your Nkisi. Do what you want to do.
Hmm.
These are the problems that we're having in this tradition.
Hmm.
They're serious. This is the stuff that we're having.
Yeah, the dialects, because some dialects are different. They say certain things, certain different, and there's problems because of that. It doesn't make no sense.
A bunch of, I don't know, egotism. I don't get it, man.
Yeah,
Just I don't really care. You see what I'm saying? Like I really don't
concepts,
care. If
concepts,
you
baby,
say Mambe,
concepts,
yeah, I care about concepts. Tell me
concepts.
concepts, and we go at them. Because if you're gonna come here and speak about Mambe and all this fight argue over Mambe, I'm like, man, you can say it. I don't have to say it. I can make up whatever I want in the room and stop a song. I can do that.
Exactly.
I can go
Right.
like I can tell everybody in my house, make a treaty. When I clap, everybody shut up. I can say that.
Exactly.
All my god kids are in there. I'm singing. I go like this. Everybody's gonna shut up. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
it's that simple.
Hmm.
That's what I'm trying to explain to you guys. Obviously, tradition has carried Mamba there, which is perfectly fine. But you fighting over dumb things, things that have no value.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Why aren't we fighting about morality? Why
Hmm.
aren't we arguing about concepts? That's a better thing. Let's go into concepts,
Hmm.
how things are functioning.
Right. And to practice all this stuff, man.
Why aren't we there? Because those are the true secrets.
Exactly.
Now he said, they said, and we're gonna keep copying like parrots and
Right.
keep speaking the same thing that these elders said, that most of them were halfway drunk or they read in a book.
Right.
If you say Mamba, you don't say Mamba. Who say Mamba? Where Mamba come from? Don't make you a priest.
Right.
It doesn't make you a priest of medicine and how to
Hmm.
affect processes. So
Hmm.
why waste my time? I don't waste my time.
Exactly. It's like if you're a practitioner and you only speak English, what's the difference? Like you speak English, go ahead. You working the same way I'm working. You just speaking in a different language.
And that's what I'm trying to explain. There's levels to it. Why do I say that? It's because I'm on a different level.
Exactly.
New initiates, I'm gonna be saying, why do they say Mambe? I
Right.
tell them, look, this is the story. Don't worry about it. I have told my god kids that this is the story. I've read them the story, told them the story. This is the treaties that they based on it when they built in
Yeah.
Kifis and all this stuff.
Hmm.
But don't worry about that.
Hmm.
Don't
Yeah.
fight nobody for it because you're gonna lose your time. And
Exactly.
you're losing your time.
Yeah.
It's not productive.
Yeah. You're not getting that air and oxygen back.
It's just like saying this. Is this water is this what was it, half empty or half full? You ever seen a cup? You're trying to fight somebody, tell them it's empty, it's half empty. No, it's half full, it's half full. It's both of them. I
Right.
wasn't there. I don't know. You see what I'm saying? Like we weren't
Yeah.
there.
Exactly.
And that's the problem. People get in their emotions and they want to go crazy. So don't waste your time for endless meaningless conversation. Which I'll listen to me. If you guys know me offline, like you guys are there's priests here speaking to me. That they're watching me. They know. Good friends of mine. They know that I have an issue in me. That I love to question things and put people up for debates just for them to understand.
There's a saying that says, uh, "Too much reading and never learning."
Yeah, never learning, right? That's what I'm saying. Like I put people up for that, for them to at the end say, you know what? It don't matter if it happened or didn't happen. I
Right.
don't give a damn. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That's what you're supposed to say. Look, this is what I think, but I don't know. I believe it, but I don't know it. So
Yeah.
why are
He
we gonna
wasn't
waste
there.
here 4 hours conversating about this dumb stuff? And I
Exactly.
love that. That's an issue in me because it rises people's understanding of the tradition.
Right. It
You
questions
know,
stuff. You know. All
yeah, I
right.
question everything. I question everything. Everybody
Everything.
here, everybody knows. Anybody know Matamba? Don't you come speaking to me about the traditions, any of them, or any practice or anything. I'm gonna start questioning everything.
Hmm.
They know me. I start asking why this, why that, why this, why that,
Hmm.
and we're gonna see.
We got to make sense.
And it gotta make sense. If it don't make sense, I'm like, yeah, this don't make no sense. And I do that. I do that to my practice a lot.
Hmm.
I start thinking about why this, why that. Why do I have to paint the female on the ground?
Hmm.
Why can't I just put the female in my head?
Hmm.
You see, tell them, look, this the why the female on the ground?
Right. Exactly.
You see priests that got females on the roof. Why you got it up there, man?
Yeah. All over.
Or why is it why are these females all over it? Trying to figure concepts like a little kid. Why? Please explain.
Mhm.
And then another thing is, this is what I used to do this to my golf all the time. Um, month, 2 months, 3 months pass by, and here I go again. Why you have the female up there again? I do that to see if they answer the
The
same
same
thing.
thing. They give you the same answer.
Yeah, and my
Yeah.
godfather would always answer the same thing and more in depth. I'm like, dang,
Right.
man. And those were the things trying to find loose ends in his concepts, which, and I still do. I try to. I sit there think. I'm like, he
You
said
ain't
this. He
finding
said,
nothing.
trying to find loose ends in it, so I can, so you can prove it wrong.
Right. Have an argument, but you
You know,
can't.
yeah, to be like, no, look, this is not real. You
Right.
see, and I searched for it, and I can't. There's only two probabilities: either it's real or I'm crazy. And a bunch of us are crazy that been out there in the forest, seen rituals and all that stuff,
Hmm.
seen things. Either those two things. That's what I've come to conclude.
Well,
But
I always say that we all have a little bit of lunacy in us to be in these traditions.
oh yeah, no, we're all some.
We're a little bit more out there than in here.
Yeah, like, and this is something for spiritual
Uh,
people. Do you guys sometimes have a hard time connecting with people who are not spiritual? Like I have had that. Sometimes I have had to put on
like,
a mask.
yeah, come down. Yeah.
Yeah, put on this mask and play the game, be an
Hmm.
actor. Because I have a regular life, and people speak about the most idiotic, stupid things that they are not. It's not fulfilling to me. About how this velvet cheesecake was so good, and I'm like, what does that matter, bro? There's bigger problems in my head that I'm trying to resolve, or I'm trying to find enlightenment. I'm trying to grow.
Right.
And when I speak to spiritual people or any of that, the conversations for me get very juicy. Like I'm very entertained. I like it,
Hmm.
especially when they question things and I start questioning. We start, I like those type of conversations. Always since a kid.
Questioning is one of the best things you could do as a seeker and as a practitioner. I think that's what a lot of us, and I always say it in a lot of videos. This is one of the reasons why we get tangled up in some of these munansos and go, or any other tradition, and get up having to leave or having bad experiences because we do not question enough.
You got the
That's
question.
and this is right here what she's asking. This is a great question.
What kind of questions should I be asking a potential godparent before getting initiated? Man, there's so many of them, but like for you to see the red flags,
Hmm.
that's like the avenue that you want to take, or you want to test his knowledge. Because if you go to test his knowledge, I'm 100% sure that he's going to tell you, you're not initiated yet. I
You're
can't tell
not.
you
I
that.
can't tell you that.
He's going to tell you that. I'm telling you.
I think
Um,
I think one very easy that comes that as through experience and through time. You see how Tata Matamba say he has never had gotten a divination done other than one time from his godparent. I can't say that. I have gotten many divinations done before. You understand? So as what I would actually one of the things I would ask, to be honest with you, without being disrespectful to the elder, whether male or female, is how many godchildren do you have? And also, what are you expecting from that godparent? And what that godparent is expecting from you? Is that godparent willing and able to teach you? Or is that godparent is just willing and able to initiate you and not have that responsibility? These are
expectation
things that you
management.
have to ask. What is it that you want from that godparent or godparents? And what do they require of you? These are things you have to ask. And once these things are clear, and you have some type of I'm not saying go and get initiated immediately. Conversate, ask questions. Some of them might you might want to go, and someone might tell you, I don't take nobody in like that or whatever. These are things, then tactics that are used, but at least conversation should be key. Because what's going to happen here is you're going to do your due diligence and try to feel this person out. They're going to do their due diligence and try to feel you out. And remember, this is over the phone, over a call, or maybe a video call. You guys are going to try to feel each other out. Does it? Is it 100% that you're going to be able to know the type of person that is? Nah, not 100%. But sometimes you get, because of either how you feel or how the person speaks or what they say. You got to remember, there's actors out here that perform very great. They're great at acting, and you'll fall for it. So you got to just be very careful. But that's one thing that I would ask: how many godchildren? What rama they're from? You know, are they taking anyone in? Do you guys teach? What are you getting yourself into? You know?
Yeah, if he has a lot of god kids,
Yeah.
see how many are the way that you want to be within the tradition. I'm not
How
talking about
many?
like in
Right.
life.
How many
How
are
many of them
priests?
have the knowledge that you want to have?
Exactly. Right.
If you see you only got none of them are more knowledgeable, they should be like the Godfather. You see what I'm trying to explain? They should be as knowledgeable as him
Oh, very close.
or close to his stuff. If not, you know, if he has 30 God kids, 40 God kids, that's a lot of God children that he has to make the same as him, bro. That's a lot of people.
Hmm.
But it all depends on the expectation management, man. You got to speak about that if he has
Yeah.
time for you or not. I mean,
Yeah.
be
You're
honest
right.
with it. Look at the red form. This is even a better question.
Yeah.
What does a good godchild look like? Ooh.
Oh man, a good godchild looks like. You have a lot of money, you bring it to your tata.
that
That's
that's
the.
that's that's most priests gonna say that.
Well, what type of work you do?
Mhm. I'm an astronaut.
Woo! Come right in. You're the
Oh,
next
come right in.
contestant on The
You
Price
see what
is
I'm
Right.
saying? You know, they can say that.
I came up here now.
He said I came up with it. No, but like a good godchild, in my opinion, was I a good godchild? You see, the same way I'm about to say, I got to put it to myself. Was I a good godchild? I don't. I think I was a fair or a good godchild, fair one or a good one, not a great one. Now let's change the question. What makes a great godchild? Because there was, I didn't listen, man. I'm not gonna be honest. I didn't listen. Cabeza dura, papo. You see, de pinga, man.
Hmm.
Headaches, bro. Like, I did a lot of headaches to my godparents, a lot of them.
Hmm.
But remember, my relationship extended outside the room.
Hmm. It
Mine
was
was
like family.
personal. Mine was
Hmm.
very personal.
Hmm.
You know, so it was different. Most people are not gonna get that because you guys are coming in as adults.
Right. You're
So
not
what
coming
what
in
would
as children or none of that.
so what would like they say the great my God kids, what would make them great? What I like me, it all depends on expectation management, but for them to teach me, that's what makes for me a great godchild. If my godchild can teach me something that I don't know, find things that I don't know, I like that.
Hmm.
If my godchild can teach me and tell me, look, this code is this, and that, I like that. Look, I know we're doing this tree like this, but look at this other way. And if it makes sense, I'm like, damn, this is a different way.
Hmm.
Look at this and this way. Look at the secret in nature, how it's functioning. That's what I like. My God kids to teach me. Or find loose ends.
Hmm.
Obviously, good morality, all of those stuff, respect, all of that stuff that's for everybody gonna come through here. Now you ain't gonna be my godchild. I'm telling you that right. You're out of the you're out of here.
Hmm.
But from my standpoint, from where I'm at, I say the greatest God, like Andy teaches me a lot. That and all my God kids teach me. That's why I
Hmm.
think they're all amazing because I like my God kids to push me. You see what I'm saying? If they're on the same level as I am, they making me work for it too.
Hmm.
You see what I'm saying? I had to get ready to teach them, and there's that push and pull. I like
Yeah.
that competition.
And that's what I like that he's asking questions. These are the things that you should be asking. I don't know if you're initiated or not, Red Swan. What do you practice? But this is good that you're asking questions because this is what a lot of us fail to do as new practitioners or coming in looking and seeking.
I
Is it
say,
worth moving to where a godparent lives to study, learn, or should you try to find someone in your state? That's a good one.
yeah, that's a very strong occasion. You see, that's a very strong situation. If it's
Yeah,
gonna be worth it, I would do it. If you think it's not gonna be worth it, do not do it. And how would you know if it's worth it? You see, how are you gonna know that? It's only the test of time will let you
time,
know that.
time will tell.
So you see, to make those decisions, you really gotta be sure
Right. And because you might end up going over there and your godparents moving somewhere else.
for exactly. So you really have to, speak those things like that, you know. But I like that question, Red Swan. I'm gonna answer this one in a second. That question, Red Swan, the great godchild, because I think about it. I know Andy be teaching me things. My God kids be teaching me stuff.
Mhm.
And why I say that, because I like when they're on my level or better. Because I know that with my eyes closed, I have all confidence in them. You see what I'm saying? I have the confidence in my God kids. Tata and Baji, you have the confidence that I'm like, he can handle things if I'm gone.
Mhm.
You see, if I'm deployed, something's going on, all I need to do is one phone call.
Right.
Divination gonna be on point, medicine's on point, any situation. Oh, something happened with my family, this and that. Anything that I lacked in, they can pick up. Anything that happens within that happens to me and the day tomorrow, like if I pass away for some idiotic decision that I made, I know that my kids, my family, they're in good hands if they go to them.
Mhm.
So that's the truth. You can pull it back up.
No, that one is
You,
just so he just that's Chando. I know Chando. We be talking over here on the side. He said I remember this guy had 12 godchildren, but none of them had an nganga.
yeah, you just say, hey, y'all 12, let me see your name. When you get there, do them God kids know their name? Do they know how to run a room?
Mhm.
They don't have to have a ganga, but do they know what they're doing? Can they teach? Are they moldable? Are they
So,
independent somewhat?
Sanaya, if he has 50 and he has a regular job,
Yeah, nah,
hey,
that's
bless his heart.
yeah. And you see, and a godchild, that's another thing, right? They have to put their effort and time. You know how much time I put in my golf? Same way he did. You know how many nights we stayed out there in that porch conversating till 4 in the morning?
Hey, being a pain in the ass.
Yeah, long every time, every weekend, every day in the summer when I didn't have school, the whole every day there. My godmother cook the midnight like snack spaghettis or pan con croqueta in the middle of the night. It'd be 2 in the morning, all the kids are asleep, my god, like I said, my god brothers, but they're not my god brothers. Let's see, my godfather's kids, family. And they're sleeping, all the kids are little still, so they're all asleep. And me and my
Mhm.
little brother eating pan con croqueta, speaking about Palo and this and quantum physics, and a lot of time I dedicated. It was a two-way street. He gave his time the same way I gave mine. And I put him up against the ropes, many questions. I start asking questions, but what about this? I remember I asked him, where does God come from? God has always been. I said, God damn, bro, that thing blew my brain. There was so many things so many lessons. So there's a lot of conversation. You have no clue how many times me and Andy had stayed up on the phone,
Ah,
6, 7, 8
hours.
hours, hours and hours and hours. Other priests too. I've been speaking over 8 hours, nine
Yeah,
hours, 10 hours.
yeah,
We give a lot of time
yeah.
to
To
to the
learn
old yeah
and
to the
talk.
oral tradition and talk.
Yeah, and to bond too. And it's just not just. It's just not. At this point, you guys got to understand that you're gonna reach a certain point in your life that when you have a godparent, it becomes more than just tradition. It becomes more just than the religion. It becomes more than that. It becomes personal. It becomes more. How can I say? It's like it changes. It changes your life. It becomes family. It becomes. I would say in some instances even more than blood, because sometimes your own blood won't do the things that your godparents will do for you. And I'm not saying all of them, but I'm saying some of them. That's how
Yeah,
serious these things
exactly.
get.
I'm telling you, I won the lottery. I'm telling you, for mine, I won the lottery. Um, a Tata that has godchildren. that simply needs to be scratched, but not further in their path, a specific health concern, etc. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. That's
Yes.
you see, Vanessa, when
That's
they come,
unique.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a unique thing. They say, "Do you want to learn?" And she's like, "No, look, I have my own business. I have other things. I don't want to be in this tradition like that. I don't want to have an Ikisi. I just want to come here from time to time, speak to you if I need help, this or that. Just be honest in the beginning. I just want to get
Exactly.
initiated and continue on. Trust me, the priest is gonna change the amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
If they tell me they want to learn, I'm telling you, I'm gonna teach them. I'm gonna dedicate time to them. I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
charge them more
Mm-hmm.
than I know that if they're telling me, look, I just want to get initiated, be a part of this lineage, but keep living my own life. They're being honest like that. And why Kishi's agreed, you know, because I know I don't have to dedicate
You're
a
gonna
lot of time.
you're gonna love this question because this question you have taught me that happened to you, and you went through this experience.
What better doing chores for your godparents or paying them with money?
And vice
What's
versa,
better?
and
What
vice
yeah.
versa, and vice
What's
versa.
better? And vice versa. It's always I say do the chore. I say help them out. I helped out my godfather in all affairs, and I gained triple some.
Hmm.
Hey, he want the roof, I'll be there in the roof helping you.
Yeah,
If you want, I was there. Paint this,
yeah,
I was there. Whatever,
yeah.
anything, I was there.
It ain't all the
Um,
time just a tradition. That's what I'm trying to say, guys. Sometimes back in the days, and I don't mean to cut you off, Tata. Sorry for that. Back in the days when you're going to listening and talking to these old heads, they would tell you that it took these significant few for them to teach, and they didn't start teaching them just from one day to another. They started with them, working with them, doing work, hard labor,
chores.
construction, of stuff in the country, everything. And when you thought you was going to learn something, right? You was like, oh, I'm gonna go learn, you're gonna teach me. No, 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 no. You was working first. This has changed, but still, we should work for what we earn. And there's something that Tata taught me because he been through that experience. And this you could okay, if he was my godson, right, and I was to ask you, and I'm gonna do a ritual or something in my mulanso, or I'm gonna help someone out, and this is what Tata Matamba has taught me. One of the things he had taught me, I would ask you, do you want to get paid for helping me, or do you want to learn? Which
Mhm.
one are you gonna choose?
Let's see which one would they choose.
Which one will you choose? To get paid for helping in a ritual or something, or to just go help and learn? Because remember, you could help out in a ritual and see certain things, but maybe not be taught what the ritual is about. Now, if you're going to learn, you might get that what the ritual is about more than just what you see. Learning, learning, learning. I want to learn. Ah, very good.
And I lived that too with my godfather.
Mm-hmm.
I lived the same thing with him, and he lived the same thing with his godfather. When he built his Lucero, this is the first godfather thing that he had in Miami. I never got to meet him, but that man, he had good divination because he told him, you're going to get initiated by the trunk, and he did. And
Mm-hmm.
he met Dominique Yoko and stuff. But my godfather, I guess he had a property in the back of the house, and he said that they had bunch of scrap metal, bunch of metal sheets and bunch of iron, and I guess I don't know, a bunch of metal stuff,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
tons and tons of metal things
Yeah, you
accumulated.
could
He
sell for
said
money.
you can sell for money. He said, when you help me load this stuff off and clean the backyard and sell that money, then I'll build you your including. He did that as a boy, and that's when he got it when he was young too. So me with my Kisses, yes, I was able to save up for the materials and all that stuff. We didn't gain anything, but I learned, and I still learn. That's what I'm trying to explain. Yeah, I was under him in the hot sun up on the roof. I don't know how many times we did his roof, how many times we worked on the porch, how many times we cut his grass. You know how many times that I raked those leaves under that tree and burnt them with them. Those days, good conversations we had under that tree.
Yeah.
Um, all that stuff, and he would teach still. He would always
Hmm.
teach. He would always teach, teach, teach.
Right.
And in the rituals, he would teach. There was other God kids that were way older than us. They were adults. They'll come to the rituals, but he won't teach. He'll shut his mouth. He
Hmm.
won't say nothing. And he'll pay them. If he had to pay him, he'll pay him, but he won't teach. And it's not the same to be involved in a ritual. Like Andy learned that, right?
Hmm.
To get paid or to get taught. And you get
Exactly.
to choose. I'll let Andy choose. This time, you
Hmm.
want to get paid or you want to get taught? If he shows up, I'm paying him. Oh, I need you to hold this, do this, do that, do this. Not telling him why I paint this FEMA, what's going on in the divination,
Right.
everything. And then after that, the effects that are coming after. Because I
Hmm.
keep I keep him updated. Look, this happened. This is
Right.
going on. This is this.
Right.
This is that. Because he
Yeah.
was there to witness the ritual and he was a part of it. Same way
Hmm.
my godfather did for me. He always kept me updated. I used to come from Miami or wherever, from work or from school, and he used to be like, "Tengo que hablar contigo." I had to speak to you. I would go in the back of the house. I remember Cito he used to bring these watermelon drinks. I used to be drinking that watermelon soda. And he's telling me what we had done. This happened, this happened, this happened. I'm like, coño, tremendo muerto. You see what I'm saying? And it's the same thing.
Hmm.
And he will teach us like that.
Hmm.
Um, and that's what I'm trying to explain to you guys. Sometimes you gotta, as a godchild, you have to put your all also. You have to be willing to learn.
Hmm.
It's not the Godfather on your time. It's you on your Godfather's time. I'm gonna be honest.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. Now I'm gonna tell you something. My Godfather ain't gonna teach you on the phone. You see,
Right.
like me, I speak to
Yeah.
Andy, I teach on the phones,
Yeah.
all that. My Godfather do not do that. He said, you gotta come here. He don't even put the phone on his. He be speaking on speaker far away to the
Yeah.
phone. He don't deal with
Yeah.
cell phones or any of that stuff. This is different. So you see, it all depends on your Godfather, your Godmother, who they are, and what they're teaching you.
Hmm.
My Godmother taught me other things. She taught me Manya,
Yeah.
Manya about life and how to see things. I learned a lot of things there too. Um, Man, I'm telling you, just learning. I learned a lot of stuff. What you guys say is, if you are a
If,
non-initiated, can you attend any part of a medicine ceremony, etc.? That's
it
a
all
that, that's a
depends.
Yeah,
It all
that's a
it all,
good question.
it all depends. It all depends. It all depends because it depends. The example. Let's give the example with the woman and the child. Go ahead.
Like the woman and the child, right? Let's say you have a mom and a
Son or
like
daughter.
yeah, son, a 3-year-old, 4-year-old daughter. You have to initiate them. But the mother, let's say through divination, does not require initiation. There's a process that she can go through for her to witness the initiation of her child, be there the whole time during the spiritual breakage, during all that stuff. Same thing for andando a comer a la tierra, feeding the earth and feeding the shadows and all these ensadas.
Hmm.
Maybe if it doesn't have to do with the patient, but it can do with an adult because they're underage.
Hmm.
Obviously, if they're doing it to them, they're adults, and they're doing it to them. They're going to witness this stuff, but they're not going to be teaching. I teach why I sometimes as I go through, telling you why I did this, why am I doing this, why is this, why is that, why 12 o'clock in the day I need you on the forest that day, why
Hmm.
is this? I explain above things so people can understand what am I doing. Give context to the rituals. Um, Which many priests do that. Good priests do that. While they're burying this stuff, and they give you advice. They'll tell you, "Hey, look, you have to change your ways because this, that." They're very good priests. They know what they're doing.
Yep.
Others, you show up, they do your stuff, and you're gone.
Yeah. Or you're out the
No,
door.
no,
You're not even inside the door.
yeah, no conversating or any of that
No,
stuff.
you
So
wait
it all
outside.
depends.
It all depends.
Yeah,
And also,
it all
and all,
depends.
and also, there's some instances where a priest or a priestess might have someone right that's not from the Munanso, right? That's maybe not even initiated, right? And they feel as though they want to ask the Nkisi if that person is if the Nkisi would allow that particular person to witness what is going to be done or what's going on here in this Munanso. The priest or priestess will ask. If it says yes, da licencia, and the Tata or Yaya wants to, because I guess that's the reason why they're asking, and it says yes, they'll give them licencia to come in. Some of them will do certain things to them before they come in or when they're inside. But it all depends on the rama, the lineage. It's a
And yeah,
lot.
and what's going on? Let's
And what's
say,
going on? Yeah, it's
yeah, let's
not
say my
everything.
let's say my elder brother is not a palero, never's been a palo, never been initiated, but he's a babalao.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I'm doing the end of the year ceremonies like feeding the inquises and all that. All the god kids are here, everybody's here. I invited my brother, my brother's there too. I could divine to my inquises and say, hey, you allow my brother, I know he's a babalao and all that. He has his, his collares. He's born in Bayuno.
Right.
Elec
Eleki.
is those electors that they have. He has his protections and all that. You allow him to be in the room to get clean with the goats and all that stuff. But if my Kiki say, yeah, allow him in the room to witness this stuff. If it says, yeah, if my Kiki is my house, yeah, go ahead, come in here. Even though
Mm-hmm.
you haven't knocked on this door and he
Right.
can go in. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it all depends. It all depends on the circumstance and who we are, but it is very possible. Have you both heard of just getting scratched just to get the ceremony done? I know I wouldn't want to just get scratched and not practice it and grow.
Some people
That's
have to, and some people do go through ceremonies as an engayo, and sometimes even as tatas, and they don't practice. They just want to be part of the community,
so
and
that's
that's fine.
expectation management. That's called expectation management with a godparent. You gonna get initiated, you say, look, Padrino, I want to learn. If you're not gonna teach me, I'm not getting initiated here. That's how simple it is. Do you give me your word? I don't how much you charging? Oh, I'm charging $8,000, $1 million. I'll pay you the $1 million, but I need you to teach me. Do you give me your word you're gonna do that? You make the agreement with him. You tell him, yeah. Another thing is if he's saying, no, look, I don't have time to teach you. I can initiate you, but I don't have time to teach.
Hmm.
And that's many people contact. Many of you guys have contact me, reaching out. And there's only so much that I can handle. I can't handle everybody. I can't do that. I'll send you guys refer you to other
Hmm.
priests. I'm in the military. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I have a profession, I have a wife, kids. I can't handle all these god kids.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? I just can't. I'm like, if you can wait for me, that's a different conversation, but not now. It's too much. I'm a
Hmm.
fail on our agreements. I'm telling you, I'm a fail, so might as well not do it. I don't need the
Exactly.
money, so I'm like, I don't need the money. I'm not gonna do it for the money.
Right. Right. Right.
I'm doing it so I can nurture you and grow.
Right.
So, these conversations are called expectation management between the godchildren and the godparents. What agreements are being done? What are you expecting them to do to you, to give you? So all this stuff has to be spoken on.
And don't forget the muertos there listening.
And the muertos there listening. Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. I don't understand this one on Sanaya. If you could rephrase it, the religion after getting scratched. I don't know. Was that? Now I'll put this one on that you asked also. When does one graduate from being Pino Nuevo to Tata and Kisi? Is it up to the spirit to say or the Tata?
It can be
Both.
both.
Both. I'd say
It can be
both.
both. It can be both. Some lineages jump you straight to Tata, which is fine. They don't want to limit you. Others put you in Pino Nuevo. They Pino Nuevo, and they keep us in Gallo for I don't know how long, and then they move you straight to Tata. Perfectly fine.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Oh yeah, yeah, with a female.
or
The
Yaya, if it's a
Shania is a
female.
female. I mean, that's a
So,
female
so,
name. So.
so all that depends. You see what I'm saying? All that stuff is depending. It depends on the agreements. What is a prenda, and more specifically, what is a Haitian prenda, a Jew prenda? Well, you got a prenda, you refer to the Nkisi, el Quindiambo, la Nganga, el Caldero, the pot, the Nganga.
First of all, prenda. If I'm not mistaken, is a Latin name. Is a Latin word. Spanish. If I'm not
It's
mistaken, I
Jew.
could be wrong. It's prenda. What is a
Esto la,
prenda? A prenda is
this,
a
this
jewel,
jewelry.
right? And it's valuable. If you have a chain that's gold, it's something valuable, something precious. So they will call it a prenda because that's precious to that particular religious or practitioner. But they got many names. A Jewish prenda. There's so many concepts about the Jewish prenda. Okay, My what I have understood, and because of having a background in Christianity and Hebrew Israelites movements and Islamic movements, I'm of the thought that the Jewish prenda came in because of the problem that the Christians and Jews had. You have to remember that at one time Christianity had subjugated the Jews, and the Jew could not practice. You understand? They looked at the Jews like the devil because supposedly they killed Christ, right? In the scriptures when you read it. So, and there are different interpretations and what people say about a prenda judía. But from my understanding, having this background, I understand why. This makes more sense to me. You understand? The Christians looked at Jews like the devil for killing Christ. So a prenda judía, in other words, would mean a endoki prenda, a prenda just to do evil or bad. And then that's why sometimes you see some prendas might have a crucifix, meaning that it's not a prenda judía. But then some people have a crucifix and put it on to do good, and then take the crucifix out, and then now they do bad. So
Yeah, or they flip it upside
oh, they
down.
flip it upside down. So these are just I think these are just things that people within time, you know, put into these practices and indoctrination of certain other things and all that. But I don't listen. A prenda could be, if you want to use those terminology, cristiana, haitiana, judía, endoki, any prenda could be cristiana and could be judía. Any prenda could be haitiana or could be cristiana. That's it. A prenda could do it all. You understand? It's up to
Yeah, so
you.
it's yeah, so it all depends up to you and the trees you have with that infumbe, how you built that thing. Um, I just once again, those we need to understand the concepts and how things are functioning. If you're doing that nowadays, putting crucifijos and all of that stuff, not out of tradition, but
Right.
with the concept that there's
What it means.
Christianity and hell and all of that, the heavens and hell and demons.
And
If you think
angels.
about that, all of that, you're still in the lower levels, big time. Lower levels of Palo. I'm sorry to explain that to you because that doesn't fit within the concepts of the natural order of things. That is
Exactly.
a Christian, Abrahamic religion
Religion.
way of seeing things.
Things exactly.
That's not how things truly function
And you got to remember the
within the
cross. The
tradition.
the cross is not a Christian invention. When you go back to ancient Kemet, you're gonna see that they had the Ankh. They had things that resembled the cross. It's actually a cosmogram. It's a dikenga. It's actually a male and female's, how can we say, genital
Private parts.
parts. You
Yeah,
understand?
general
And it
parts.
resembles a lot of things. The cross is nothing new to the African people. This is something new maybe for people now how they see it, but the cross, that's nothing new for Kikongo people and for Egyptian people and people from back in the days. That's nothing new. It's just how we see it and how we were taught it for it to have these meanings. What are Oh, wait a minute. I skipped you. I'm sorry. Cam, come out of pocket, something like that. Is there a way to book a reading in Palo? The question is, you can. It depends on the availability that the elders will have, if they are able and capable. But if you need someone, I have somebody that I refer, you know,
Hmm.
for readings if they're far away. We are What are good and bad parts of the religion? I don't think there's any good or bad part. I think you, as a person, you're the one who actually does the good or the bad, or make the wrong decisions and life. We also have to take, you know, and be really honest to ourselves.
Yeah, I can tell them, I could be like, well, the bad parts I feel like is the lower levels of understanding. If you're in those lower levels of understanding, that's the bad part of the tradition. There's a lot of cheating and a lot of things can happen, and you thinking you're running rituals and things blow up in your face and
Hmm.
all type of crazy things are happening. That's the lower levels.
Yeah,
That's
a
the
lot of
bad
bull
aspects
crap.
of it.
Yeah,
Yeah, a lot of bull crap, money getting you, all of that stuff.
yeah.
Um, if you're talking now, if you're referring the question to, can what are the good and bad aspects of the practice? Like, how can we use it? It all depends on the intent. and what we're gonna aim at. You see what I'm saying? It all depends on who we're gonna cause effects on and whatever we wish to do. So we do good for people and we do bad for others, and bad for others do good for people. It all depends on what's going on. If I help you out to get you a job, that's good for you, but bad for the other person who's gonna go up for the resume also.
Exactly.
What do you both think about the spiritual part? You know, I respect all that stuff. I believe it. And that's what I'm gonna say it again. When you say spiritual part, most people refer to it that it has no bone, no human remains, but it still has Mfumba in there.
There's still a spirit in there.
There's still Mfumba inside that pot. So you see, if that's built like that, that's an Nganga, but that's an Nkisi just not well built.
Right.
There's a spirit in there, man. There's a person who died and is inside that pot now.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're doing in Palo, just reusing other things.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing. If they put it on a rock, you can do it in Palo too. So for me,
Mm-hmm.
in my aspect, it's just I'm not a well defined Nkisi.
Right. Usually, when you hear these spiritual pots are made for a person and only for that person. Majority of the time, these pots are not made for you to do anything else with anyone. Even though there are people who have a spiritual pot and do work them for other people also. But is this correct? And in Kisimalong and Palo, we don't do this. This is frowned upon. You understand? This is not in Kisimalongo. We don't do
Within
that.
our this is within our
Our
lineage.
lineage,
Why?
exactly.
The same thing. I'm gonna say it again. Why do I need a spiritual pot when I have my centella?
Right.
Like why in my Fumbas there and all my stuff? Why do I need Eshu? Why do I need Legba? Why do I need Orumila? Why do I need Tango? I don't need any of that anymore. I'm already a priest within this land. This is good enough for me.
Mm-hmm.
I can resolve it all
Right.
till to this moment. I haven't come across other problems where I have to jump lands, which
Right.
I don't think I will. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. You should.
Hopefully, I'm explaining myself in that way. I don't need to keep jumping and receiving, 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 building, receiving. The more you have does not make you more powerful. There's this in reality, it can bring
It
you
gives you
weaknesses.
problems. You bring you problems.
Yeah, most people are not as dedicated as the people who have all the things. Some people are dedicated, they take care of their orishas. But to have 42 orishas in your house, seven prendas, four spiritual pots, and all this stuff, you might not be dedicated to be able to handle all that stuff. And
Chando,
that's when the problems truly
Chando,
come out.
you killing me, Chando. You killing me. I gotta get you off of that stuff, bro. Nah, I'm just joking.
They
Okay,
say,
this one is
what you
what,
got?
what are things you wish godparents did more off to change the culture of Palo? ¿Cómo que tú crees que un padrino haría mejor para cambiar la vista de Palo? ¿Cómo se ve? Las costumbres, las prácticas.
I would say to question everything, question their practice, to be honest with themselves and see their concepts and where things are coming from. Um,
Well, and actually, explain. If it's coming from a godparent should be teaching, explaining, talking. You got to remember they can't go. It all depends what level you are at. The godparents are not gonna teach you everything, no matter if you're on the highest degree. A lot of them will teach you, but there's always something that a godparent is gonna know, and vice versa. When you have your things and you're already well established, there are treaties and things that you're gonna do that are gonna be personal between you and your Inkisi that your godparent does not know either. You understand? Because that's between
like
you and your Inkisi.
like Andy, like think about this. Remember the conversation we were having about I have this question and I'm
Mm-hmm.
speaking it to Andy. I'm saying because sooner or later you're gonna ask me that question.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. If you're a godparent, whatever you're teaching, you should already know what that godchild's gonna ask. Where did it come from? Why is it like this? If you don't have that type of knowledge,
Mm-hmm.
don't be a godparent.
Exactly.
If you
If
don't have that, because there's
Yep.
stuff that I'm over here telling Andy, I'm like, I don't know this.
Mm-hmm.
I do not know this, and I've been asking and this and that. Nobody can tell me,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm searching for that. And Andy's looking at me. I'm like, sooner or later, you're gonna ask me that. You might not know, you might not pick it up yet, but when you keep rising up a little bit more, you're gonna ask me that stuff. Imagine I tell him, Andy, I don't know.
No,
So
we're
might
gonna
as well
look
be
for it.
honest with you.
We're gonna keep looking it for it together. Don't worry about
Yeah, we're
it.
gonna
we
keep
not
looking
we
for
don't
you.
know. We human. We don't know everything. The
Hmm.
Chando, you're killing me, Chando. I know you must be laughing in the background. Do star system, constellations, or even astronomy matter in Inkisi Malongo?
Yes, they do. The cosmos play a heavy role within Palo. We do line up the full movements of the sun, the moon cycles, eclipses, solar eclipses and lunar eclipses, all that to run rituals, big time, for all type of stuff, all type of works, building and keys, all type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's very involved.
Yeah.
It is
Is using crosses just a Brayumba thing, or do Mayombe uses crosses as well?
everybody use cross. I'm telling you, all type of people is using crosses. I'm
Yeah,
Bayum, but I don't have no
we
cross in
don't
my
we don't
Kisi.
use them.
I don't use none of that. Nothing nowadays. So, but all type of lineages use the cross. So there you have to go to the individual and where they're putting the crosses in there in Kisi,
All
which
right,
is fine. That's up to them. That's not my problem.
we have a part two here to the question on spiritual pots.
Part two.
Can you receive a spiritual pot without being initiated? I'm gonna tell you straight off. I have we don't practice this. We don't give spiritual pots. We don't build them. So I don't know the answer to this question.
All
I'm
right,
very
and
being honest.
he's being honest, and I'm gonna say I think that you can. I think I don't know 100%. I don't practice that stuff, but I'm pretty sure that you can. Um, Supposedly you should be able to build it yourself if you got a good mfumbe or whatever egg
Supposedly,
that's attached to you, whatever primo, you should be able to
supposedly.
build it yourself.
Right, because he's the
But
one that's giving you the knowledge of how to build it, what to put it in, how they want it. Because you see, there's another thing. We're not saying that you as a person, right, that has that we know we're spiritual, right? All of us. Depending, if you have developed or not, or you understand it or whatever. Let's say you have an ancestor, right? And that ancestor comes in a dream to you and says, "Hey, I want you to materialize me in this in some way, whether in a wooden statue, whether in a pot or whatever. That's between you and that spirit. Do you want to call it a spiritual pot? That's another thing. But can you materialize an ancestor something? I believe you can. But that's between you and your ancestor. That's not between anyone else. You understand? That's just you and that spirit. Um Grateful, thank you. You're welcome. Why are okay, here we go. There's a good one too.
there are presentations done prior to getting
You
scratched.
know a little too much to be non-initiated.
And so that's great. That's a great question.
Got you,
Presentations.
Sanaya. Got you.
So some lineages do it within whatever ranking. Some people do it as an engagement, other people do it only for tatas and yayas. So it all depends on the lineage. The reason that they do it is to go divine and make sure that the forces of nature that are there, except no bad codes are coming out,
Right,
no wrong, let's say letras or
right,
issues that are coming out there. And they pay the derechos for that.
right.
Now, if you go into the forest, at least within our lineage, I'm speaking from our lineage,
Yes.
not other ones. If you're going to the forest, most of the time that is to this is only for tatas and yayas and stuff like Gales don't get that. That's why we say ours in our lineage they're very limited.
And our lineage, yeah.
Tatas and yayas, that's when they react to see if they can, work the forces of nature
Hmm.
during the day and during the night.
Right,
Both aspects.
and you have certain lineages, right? Because I have been in one in the past that the presentations that they do to you are or for you are in many places. Some take you to a billion and one places. Some take you to church. Some take you to the police. Some take you to the hospital. Some take you to the prisons. Some take you to the shopping. Some take you everywhere. Okay, what's the reason? I do not know. I do not know that. I could probably think the hospital or probably the prison. Maybe because a letter might come out. There's a great possibility that I might end up getting locked up or something. So they probably warning me or whatever. That's the only thing I could think about. But there are some important places where you should be taken to in order to have, let's say, receive the blessings to be able to work in those areas and those fields.
Yeah, so you
Uh,
see, she said she's from Behugan. So
okay.
this is what I'm referring. From whatever lineage that you're in, and if you're a Yaya already in there or any of that, you should be questioning the Godfather or the Yaya, whoever's running these rituals. You should be asking. You see, what are you asking when you get to these places? All right, we're in the forest. What are you gonna do?
What are you
What are you
saying?
gonna ask? What the rituals? Why this? Why? That's all I'll be trying to say. Same thing. You took me to the, let's say, to the church. We don't take nobody to no church, but there's people who do. Why you took them to the church? What are you doing there? What are you asking there? And be careful because those people call the police on you. So,
Mm-hmm.
you
Yeah.
know, they go call the police on you. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Yeah. Why are you
Um,
doing that?
so these are the things that I'm referring.
And some of these things have to do with the culture also. Remember, a lot of people take it at churches because of the culture.
The
They
culture.
believe in Christ. They follow also. They Catholics, and so forth and so on. So,
Some don't, man, but
some
some don't
don't.
take you. Some do. So
Yeah.
you see, all of that it depends on every linaje,
Oh,
every
she's not
house, everything.
initiated yet. What do you
Yeah, but
mean you're not initiated yet?
she's questioning a lot. I like
What
that
do you
though. I like
mean?
when people
The
question.
is followed by human behavior and finna. Oh, okay. All right. All right. Yeah, but that's good. But see, these questions are the questions that you should be putting forth to those individuals, that lineage, in order for you to get the answers so you can evaluate, and discern and so forth and so on. It's great that you're asking them here, but those are the questions you need to ask them.
Yeah, yeah. When you're there, you ask
Write
them,
them
why is
down.
this?
Write
Why
them
is that?
down
Why
on a
is it?
book.
Write them down, and you fill them in and everything. Because sooner or later, you're going to be taking people. If you start to practice the tradition, you're going to be taking people to the forest, to the rivers, to here, to there, and you need to know what you got to ask, what you have to do.
Hmm.
Become self-sufficient.
Right.
You know, you say, are misas before initiations worth it? Guess they are. You know, I didn't get a misa. I
I
did not
mean,
get no misa when I
me
got
neither.
initiated.
Me neither.
But I've been to other houses where we were, let's say, in the spiritual room
Hmm.
doing the misa there. After the misa, they blindfold and then, you know, penitencia and all that. And then after that, they went inside the rooms, the Palo room and
Hmm.
all the stuff that happens there. And we did it.
Hmm.
It's no biggie. I got to learn how to go.
Yeah, yeah.
I got to see how I got to learn how to do that there that day. But
I've been
you know,
I've been to quite a few. I've been to quite a few. I even been to a Brazilian misa, which I didn't understand nothing they were saying. I'm telling you, the place was packed, and there was a table bigger than my house. That's how long the table was, and people all sitting around it, and they were speaking Portuguese. I didn't understand, but it's a guy from work. He invited me. I went. uh,
God, I can imagine Andy would have to be going crazy.
like, what the
But
hell?
that
I
that
caught a
means
couple.
that
You catch a couple of Spanish words, they make it's a little mixed.
people do them. People do misas and stuff like that. I don't make it a big deal. If you got a misa, you got a misa. Muerto came down, spoke, he spoke. I don't need a misa. Trust me, Muerto's coming down. Ain't no matter where you're at. That he's coming down and giving the message he needs to give,
Hmm.
especially in Sokongo.
Oh yeah. Woo.
Especially in Sokongo. I'm telling you, that man's coming down.
Yeah.
Him,
A
he, she,
woman.
whoever,
Yeah.
whoever it is, they coming down to speak. So the misa, yeah, to align your spirituality, your egos, or whatever. Um, we already had that within Palo. There's certain. That's what I'm saying. There's different levels within these traditions. Some use that tradition or that practice to be
Hmm.
able to align things and do things like that. Within Palo, there's already that. There's people who know how to do that.
Right.
So it doesn't. There's no right or wrong. In other words,
And some start with misa. Some start with that just to start developing. Developing themselves and their spirituality and stuff like that.
a glass
I
cup of
Yeah,
water and a
and
candle.
a
That's all
candle.
you're gonna need.
That's all you need.
That's all.
Now,
Trust me. That's all that you need. There's a book for that. Telling
yeah.
you. That's Brother Oba's
Uh,
book.
yeah. What's the lineage? That's the lineage of the Tata I'm talking to. All right, that's fine. That's no problem. You got to keep doing your homework. That's all. You know. But nobody got any more questions, so we're gonna close out and get out of here. Any other questions before we leave? Tata, is there anything you want to say or something that you left out? Or you
Yeah,
do
I
you
want
feel
to. I want to.
content?
Yeah, I feel content. I feel great. We spent some
A good
time
day.
here.
Yeah, it was a good day. Good night.
Good conversations. Thank you,
Yeah.
Zoom,
Thank all
once
you
again.
guys.
I'm
Thank you.
proud.
Thank everybody that came.
And that's true. Maybe you made me reminisce a little bit to the past
Hmm.
about teaching or getting paid or learn. I like that. That
Learning.
was true. That's very true.
Oh,
We
the
sp-
letra del año question. I got you. See, I had it up, but I forgot about it. Sorry about that. Do paleros have a letra del año reading of the year? Do they all do? No.
no, they all don't. But some houses do that pull out letra
Mm-hmm.
del año. Some do it weekly. I
Mm-hmm.
do letra año. I put mine weekly, sometimes bi-weekly and stuff like that to see what's going on and the stuff I have to maintain within my processes. But for sure, some houses do that. Others don't.
Yeah, we do it for ourselves. Not that we pull letra año for the whole God children, all the God children. We don't do
No.
that. There are some that do. But for ourselves, we'll do our individual letra del año. And then every week or bi-weekly, I try to do it every week, but that's what Tata has taught me. But sometimes I can't. I forget. So I'll go in the middle of the week, and I'll cast. Sometimes I forget. I just don't cast. But I try to keep it point every week. As our misa before the muerte. Well, okay. Neta el año. Thank you. This was very informative. Oh, you're welcome, Sanayo. Anytime. Many thanks to you both for taking the time to bring us this knowledge. That's all we're trying to do, man. We're just trying to help those who are seeking or already are in and just trying to gain more knowledge and more understanding in order to be able to, really, really build yourself up and whatever tradition you are in. We speak more on Palo, but you know how it is. You both are incredible teachers. Thank you. I got one right here. Is teaching me very well. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Live once again. Oh, thank you for the live once again. There are so much. It was so much fun. Very good. Thank you for this time, Tata Andy, Tata Matamba, Chando.
Yeah.
Chando, you better start looking at those meteorites
Yeah.
and all that.
Yeah. Hey, I'm gonna say this so I can end it here. If you guys are looking for plants, go to sacredroots.com. They
Yep.
got plants there. You need in
Tatamateke.
yeah, if you
Tatamateke,
need in
also
Kisi's
known for
built,
Tata Will. He's also known as Tata Will for the
if you
Inquisis.
if you need things carved, obviously he can pack them, he can make them activated. But if you need them carved, stats, all that stuff,
Hmm.
we have his contact phone number. You can reach out to him. Court issues, court problem, hit me up. I have somebody who
Look, look,
can deal with
look, look.
those
I
things
told
really
you.
well.
I told you he was into that. I just bought a telescope 3 weeks ago. I told you he was into that.
He's out there looking into the stars.
I still haven't. What he put. I still haven't put it to test. Well, put it to test, man.
But these is there's network. There's network with networking things,
Yeah, and
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 that's
and
all that
and
matters.
and if any of you guys do anything at home, have a business that could help out the community, you do things at home, soaps, oils, candles, anything, put it out. Put it out. There's nothing better to buy from one another to be able to build with one another. Why do we have to order things online and go to other places when we have brothers and sisters who do things at home or maybe have a business? Share with it in the group, share with it here, put it on the comments, whatever. You never know who's interested and who needs that an item, from you. That's
Yeah,
what I want to say.
like hands of V5 and all of that. You need Babalaos and all that. I have good friends that are Babalaos. You can reach out. Look, I need a good Babalao where I live. I'm like, look, I
Hmm.
know this guy near this area. If I don't know nobody, I'm like, look, I don't know nobody. You have to go to Botanica.
Right.
But if I do, I can refer them to you. And I got one that travels. This guy travels.
Hmm.
Um, Same thing for La Ocha. There's a pretty big community. So
Now,
just reach out.
one thing clear that we all have to understand as adults, we could refer you to someone. Okay, we could refer you to someone because we have maybe their information of contact to share, but we are not responsible for anything that you do, with those elders or that elder. That's your prerogative, your business. We could refer you, but we can't be liable for anything because you're not coming to me and I'm doing it. You're asking for a referral for something. I could refer you, but I can't be liable with anything. That's just something clear. We have to understand that.
Exactly. I want to just please understand that too. We can just refer people.
Yeah.
Same way people refer me for book
Mm-hmm.
covers, all that stuff. I have people for that, or
Mm-hmm.
let's say graphic designs and all that. I have all those things like that. If you guys,
Right.
reach out, you guys reach out, and if we were plugged in, we're good to go. If I'm like, look, I don't know anybody.
Right.
Same thing. There's also, it's okay. We're not gonna speak about that.
Mm-hmm.
We're not gonna speak about that. I have
Mm-hmm.
somebody who can help out with certain legal documents and things
Yeah.
like that,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
lawyers and all
Yeah. All you
that.
guys just get in contact if you're looking
Just
for
get in
anything like that.
contact.
As far as logistics and legal matters, we have somebody that's very good at that. We If you're looking for divination, I mean, and you want a long distance, I would say talk to Tata Mateke, Tata Will, for long distance divination.
We got
I could. I'm actually gonna say that I'll put my hand in the fire for him. I'll put my hand in the
he's
fire for him. Right. So
and
with that,
very
Tata,
accurate. 40 years
yeah,
of experience. He got like
and
40 some years of experience. Really
and
good.
very humble, very good person, and then I don't have no problem saying if he says yes, I got you. I ain't got no problem. Masala Tata, thank you for coming. Thank you for always being, we having time, spending time with us all. I enjoy these lives just because I get the time just to, even though we speak a lot, but I always learn something, no matter what. These ladies and gentlemen that are here might not think that I need to learn. I need to learn, and I'm still learning just like all you guys. Always keep it humble and always be open to receive. Don't shut those doors. Don't put those walls. Remember, if you put a door, if you put a wall, and you cannot hear and see beyond what you could comprehend, then you're never going to be able to learn other things.
Four,
That's what I wish you
four,
guys are.
yeah, four walls. They bring you shelter, but at the same time, they confine you.
Exactly.
That's Motali and Motali.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? I'll go ahead and leave you guys with Singa de Kana Ninga Kata Bukako. Always uphold our community by making the right decisions for our community. Any questions, you can reach out to us personally. You can leave comments, like, share, subscribe. We got
Hmm.
books out. We got a bunch of things going on. So,
Exactly.
you know, we'll keep see you guys in the future, and the more lives will keep coming. Hopefully,
Exactly.
we're gonna put Will up here
Well,
sooner or later.
we will one of these days. And in the comments, leave like what you guys would like to hear about. Maybe you could spark something up that we could come and talk.
That'll be great. That'll be great. All
Yeah, in the
righty.
comments. Salam alaikum, alaikum salam. Que Sambil aku tarik. Oh, have a great night, Tata. I'll talk to you.
Many
Be
blessings. I got
blessed.
you guys. Bye bye.
Blessings.